It was my first full night session, and the outside courts were quiet and being put to bed. Court 17 still had one match going, and I started there with Peyton Stearns and Katie Boulter. Peyton's forehand was firing, and Katie didn't have the answers. The match was over in straight sets, and Peyton joins the other Americans in the second week of this US Open. I arrived at Louis Armstrong during a first set tiebreak between Grigor Dimitrov and Sasha Zverev. Dimitrov was putting on a show and playing phenomenal tennis in the first two sets. But his level dropped for the next two, and Zverev did well to hang in there to win the match. Vondrousova and Alexandrova were next out on court around 11:30 p.m. Eastern. But thankfully, Marketa understood the assignment and wrapped it up in just under an hour.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Let me just plug my microphone in so I sound a bit crisper. Talking of crisp, that was a crisp backhand across court from Taylor Fritz to take a 5-2 lead in the tiebreak. We will, of course, be switching to the Djokovic match very, very shortly. But while we wait for Djokovic and Gojo to come on court, let's just stick with this tiebreak here. Let me know your thoughts on the US Open so far today. It looks like Taylor Fritz is in a very good position as he takes a 6-2 lead in the tiebreak. I know Damien will be joining us very shortly, but while you wait, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. 4 set points, Taylor Fritz down the tee with an ace, and Taylor Fritz seals the first set. I thought I would just fill you in on that. Please get in the comments. Also get voting in our poll, which I have already running. Just up here, if you have a look on YouTube, if we go to the Borna Gojo match and we have a quick look at our poll regarding who is most likely to stop Djokovic getting to the final. I did a similar poll for this earlier. Who or what? Gojo, Fritz, Tiafoe, or a line judge getting hit by a ball. Anyway, in the meantime, make sure you hit the like button. We'll be back again in about 60 seconds or so, by which time maybe Damien will be with us, but possibly also Novak Djokovic and Borna Gojo.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Indeed. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on Novak Djokovic against Borna Gojo, which is coming up, which is what we're waiting for right now, actually. At the moment, I don't think they've entered the court just yet. Just having a quick look at Gojo's press conference from yesterday. I know he's been pretty vocal about things that he would like to change in tennis. Maybe you agree with him, maybe you disagree. A little bit more fan engagement. I know he's pretty keen on that. Also, by the way, of course, you can become a member. That is also pinned in the live chat. So you can get exclusive footage and other perks. It's also in the description below, but there it is pinned in the live chat. So click on that link, become a member. From anything from about $2 a month upwards, we have various different plans giving you various different perks. You will be supporting the channel and you'll also get access to exclusive footage. And it's just less than the price of a Starbucks coffee per month. So feel free to do so. In the meantime, we are going to bring you commentary of the Novak Djokovic Borna Gojo match. They have yet to enter court, but as soon as they do enter court, you know what I mean, enter the court. You enter court, enter the court. That's an interesting difference issue given the drop of the article. Earlier on today, we have here Ben Shelton overcoming Tommy Paul. Would be good to know your thoughts in the live chat on that encounter. It was a real topsy-turvy match, just 4 sets, not the 5. It was a very close encounter, though. I mean, really, Tommy Paul should have been a double break up in the first set, had an excellent chance with a forehand cross-court shot that he was middle of the court on. Really should have put it away for the double break. Didn't.
Shelton held, Shelton broke again and won that first set and kind of ran away with it from there on in. In fact, he was a breakup himself in the third set before Tommy Paul reeled him in. But ultimately, Ben managed to break serve at a crucial moment in that fourth set to seal the deal. So he is through and he will play Francis Tiafoe, who also won today, probably a little bit less surprisingly in straight sets over... Oh, hang on a second. We've got Gojo talking right now. What's he saying?
How much does that help you going into tonight, having so much tennis under your belt?
Well, yeah, it definitely helps,
As a qualifier, it helps.
Tennis feeling good, I have some confidence. So yeah, happy to walk into this match now.
My friend, enjoy it out there. Of course, 3-time US Open champion, world number 2. Novak, for those of us that don't know much about your opponent tonight, you certainly would have a lot to knowledge on him. Can you give some insights into what we expect tonight?
Yeah, big game, big serve.
Big serve, Novak here talking. I don't know if you can hear what Novak's saying.
Matches I've seen him play also in qualifications, and I've known him for a few years. We trained a lot. We're from the same region, so nice guy, but obviously big rival tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to start off well and get a win.
Emotionally, what is this like for you constantly to walk out into this particular tennis court and play at night?
Well, it's both kind of exciting and also stressful in a way, But,
Exciting and stressful. Novak.
Many of these kind of occasions and experiences, I guess you find the right balance between those opposite emotions, and I try to enjoy really and marvel every single moment because who knows how long I can go for.
Right, best of luck tonight, Novak.
So, there we go. Novak Djokovic entering the court. Some words of wisdom from the soon-to-be world number 1. I think it's confirmed now that he's reached this stage of the competition. But yes, words of wisdom there from the Serb. Of course, we have Yelena Ostapenko up against Iga Swiatek to come on afterwards. We'll be bringing you live commentary of that encounter as well. But first up is Borna Gojo against Novak Djokovic. Does Borna Gojo have a chance? Do let us know your thoughts in the live chat. I'm just seeing if I can find the score that Francis Tiafoe posted earlier on. I know it was a straight sets win, fairly comfortable. He did get broken right near the end, I think, when he was trying to serve it out, but then he immediately broke again to ultimately get over the line. So let's share. Yes, it was 6-4, 6-1, 6-4 for Francis to set up that quarterfinal clash. Hey, Jane, how are you? What about Ben Shelton? Indeed. What an impressive victory it was for him earlier. Jane, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button for me. That would be wonderful, but I'm sure you've probably already done so quite some time ago. Jane, what about Ben Shelton? Well, of course, as I touched on, though, that was super close. But what about those 149 miles an hour serves? He posted twice in one game. And I think the other serve that he did was another serve he did in the same game was about 142. Which I believe is a US Open tournament record, certainly for this year, but perhaps even ever, although I know Damien was contesting that suggestion earlier on Twitter, so maybe we'll get Damien's thoughts shortly. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button as we get ready to see Borna Gojo up against Djokovic. Yes, so Shelton, big serving. What will happen against Francis Tiafoe? Can Tiafoe deal with those big serves? Well, of course, in the end, Tommy Paul did get a grip on those serves, and in fact, he did at the beginning of the match as well, and arguably should have won that first set. And if he'd done that, who knows how the match would have panned out. However, it's Big Bag Ben who's into the quarterfinals where he'll play Francis Tiafoe. Who's the favorite for that one? I would make Tiafoe slight favorite, but Ben Shelton in his second Grand Slam quarterfinal for the year, very, very impressive on what is just over a year for the guy on tour. So that's one quarterfinal. The other quarterfinal will be between the winner of Novak Djokovic and Gojo, and the winner, Borna Gojo, and the winner of Taylor Fritz against Dominic Stricker. Dominic Stricker lost the first set 7-6. Super close, very tight first set. It was nip and tuck all the way.
But really, Fritz got an early advantage in the tiebreak, an early mini break advantage. Although, to be fair, Dominic did break back and get back to 3-2, I believe. But then from 3-2, Fritz went on an overcharge of 4 balls or 4 points in a row. Yes, you like that. You like that suggestion. Ghosty there is referring, of course, to the poll that we have going. And when I say poll, I mean to vote. I don't mean poll as in Damien, but he should be with us fairly shortly. That's the poll that I'm referring to, and the one that Ghosty is having a chuckle about. I'm just looking at the quarterfinals. Yes, so Tiafoe up against Shelton. And then the winner of Stricker or Fritz up against the winner of Gojo or Djokovic. Let's take a quick 60-second break, and we'll be back.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material, such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Talking of people on the ground, we have Anastasia on the ground. And Shelton playing double 30. Look at this. A lot of fun there. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm just munching on a bit of chocolate, so apologies for that. But just over in the Stricker Fritz match, 2-1 to Stricker on serve. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So Djokovic en route, of course, beating Muller in straight sets, Zapata Miralles in straight sets, and then overcoming Les Logère in 5, 4-6, 4-6, 6-1, 6-3. 6-1, 6-1, 6-3. You follow anyway. I've got some chocolate on the go, cup of tea as well. Let me know what you've got on. If you're munching away on something, depending on what time it is where you are. Anyway. That's nice. Chocolate with an English cup of tea. Of course, this is not Wimbledon. This is the US Open. Honey juice, is it honeydew? Or whatever that drink is. I've had it a couple of times. It's nice. It's nice. Pretty pricey, I will say. Pretty pricey. For those of you wondering why I'm sharing the Stricker Fritz score at the moment on the screen, is because Novak and Borna have yet to get underway. They are warming up right now as they practice their serves. Of course, this is the first night match. Novak, this is his 4th match in New York, and 3 of the 4 have been at night. Discuss. I see Goran there. Looking pretty chilled. I wonder if he'll be still looking quite as chilled over the next couple of hours, particularly if Novak ends up remonstrating with him. Borna's sat down, conserving a bit of energy. He might need every single ounce of that energy today. Borna Coric, of course. Borna Coric, I'm calling him Coric. Borna Gojo, I'm sure I'm going to do that a couple of times tonight. Him and Novak are familiar. They've practiced a few times before, obviously from a similar part of the world as well. Borna, I believe, is from Croatia.
whilst Novak, of course, from Serbia, but they are neighbours. Indeed. What are you consuming there? Carp, some everything DMs. Carpe diem. I wasn't sure if you were going to give me a clue on what you were consuming. Let me know where you're tuning in from, by the way. And while we wait for this match to begin, why not hit that like button? And by the way, we're about to begin with Borna, Gojo to serve to the forehand of Novak. And we're on the forehand now of each player. Gojo is now on the backhand. Novak on the forehand. Good depth there from Novak, as you'd probably expect from the soon-to-be world number one. Cross-court rallies here. Can Gojo hang with him in these kind of rallies? Well, he didn't in that one. He errs. And it's love 15. Love 15. I guess I should get the score up for you. Just a quick look at the Taylor Fritz Stricker score as well. A reminder that Tiafoe won in straight sets earlier as well. And we'll get Djokovic's score up here. Love 15 at the moment against his friend and occasional practice partner, Borna Gojo. You like it dark? You mean the chocolate, for example? I love 30 already on the Gojo serve, so a few tense moments here for the Croatian. It sounds amazing, Ghosty, but doesn't sound like the meal of a working class kind of guy. It sounds a bit hipster, if you don't mind me suggesting, Ghosty. Anyway, it does sound amazing. Oh, I would like something maybe maybe a little bit of pita bread. Yeah, good. I would fancy a bit of tzatziki with that. Lovely forehand winner there from Gojo. Get to 15-30. Are we expecting a straight sets win for Novak, by the way? Is that what we're anticipating? Hey, Max. Great to have you on board. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here. Okay, Gojo serving, 15-30. Into the net on the first serve. Second serve. Backhand return from Novak. Forehand pushed out wide now. Gojo pushing him around a little bit, but actually that time he went down the center of the court. I think he probably didn't quite intend it. Backhand slice from Novak. Good depth, of course, from Novak. Another slice from Novak. Now it's forehand to forehand. Novak changing direction. Gojo clipping the net there. Backhand slice from Novak. It'll be interesting to see if that's a regular tactic today or just something he went for spontaneously. Gojo goes long, and we already have 2 break points for Novak Djokovic. 2 break points, ladies and gentlemen, for an early break of serve in this encounter. It's an ominous start, I would suggest. Good serve there from Gojo. He's in charge of this point, goes for the drop shot, and it actually works nicely. 30-40. Nice one, Borna. So we're at 30-40. This time he serves down the tee, and it's an ace. Nice work, Borna. Saving those 2 break points, and you're back at deuce. Okay, deuce. Gojo to serve.
Forehand return from Novak. Forehand Gojo. Forehand Novak. Forehand is long from Gojo. And we have another break point for Novak Djokovic. Another one. Can't afford to give him too many break points. Okay, good first serve there from Gojo, therefore saving the third break point, 131 miles an hour. Just another 18 miles an hour, and he'll be equaling Ben Shelton. What about that, ladies and gentlemen? Good serve there from Gojo. But now they're into the rally. Novak picking up the pace. Novak on the forehand now, really picking up the pace. Defense from Gojo. Is it going to be enough to help him win the point? No, I don't think it is. Although that's still nice defense. But Gojo is going to face a fourth break point.
It's Goyo, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I actually checked a few years ago in order to find out, and I found like a Croatian interview with him, and they said it Goyo at the beginning.
Am I not the only one calling him Gojo?
I used to call him Gojo or something like
Gojo.
that. Like there's a billion of ways you could say this, and it's just Goyo. But yeah, sorry for being like a game late.
No worries.
Well,
Borna. Gone long with the forehand there. No worries. You did take me by surprise though, Damien, because I was actually looking at a different screen. So when you said it's Borna, but when you said it's Goyo, by the way, I was like, what the hell is that?
Sorry to surprise you.
Good.
Yeah, let's see if it's just a warm up before Świątek Ostapenko, or if it's actually going to be a match.
Right now, I'm probably thinking it is a bit more of a warm up, but that is with the advantage of watching that first game where Novak had 4 break points before sealing the deal.
I think it's Ghosty. I think it's like the full body, more so maybe not the full body, but like the rotation of the arm, and also the drive from the legs for sure.
I mean, is he that tall? Is he? What's he? He's not. Oh,
Ben.
Yeah,
and he's not like 2 meters. I don't think so. No.
And I probably would even make him shorter than someone like Taylor Fritz, who's probably about 195.
Yeah, more or less, probably the same.
Okay. I mean, in English and I think in the US too, we would sort of say 6. So I saw it earlier that Taylor Fritz is 6'5", which actually caught me by surprise. I thought maybe he'd be 6'4", but that's kind of what you've kind of got short, you've got average, and then you've got tall. And I always draw the line at 6'4" for tall. When you go beyond,
and then you have a tree.
Yeah, right. Then you have John Isner. But 6'4"
is basically 1 inch shorter than Fritz according to the ATP, and also apparently the same height as Blake Shelton.
Oh, there you go.
Whom he's probably not related to.
No, he's not, but he is related to Brian Shelton, of course.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Did you have any specific thoughts on any of the tennis from earlier? I've barely seen the first set of Fritz and Stricker. I did see the tiebreak though, which was close and then ultimately one-way traffic.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I was late was actually that I decided to take a nap instead of watching Stricker Fritz. And
I thought you did, so I didn't even I didn't even want to bother you. If you turned up in 10 minutes or 2 hours, I was fine.
Yeah, basically I did that because I don't have any belief that Stricker can win it, and that's only like physically, fitness related. Not that, well, it's not his strong suit, obviously, but it's just the fact that he's coming off back-to-back 5 setters, 4 sets against Popyrin, also the qualies, which at least one match was really tough. And with Fritz basically just Mario today on the first serve, I think he said that Fritz is basically starting his event today. And with Fritz doing that, I just don't believe Stricker can win another 4 or 5 setter with Taylor. I just don't think he's gonna hold up. So I decided to take a nap. Otherwise, I watched most of it, I guess, especially the things that happened after the last challenger final for the day. So far it's been going like we expected, right? Paul Shelton is competitive, and then the rest is a bit of a drag on the men's side for sure. And I guess on the women's, I did not get to see almost any of Kirsta Benjic, which I wish I did. And yeah, Goff just, I guess, more of the same. Sort of getting into a bit of trouble, and then
Mukova made life a little tricky for herself as well in losing the second set. Which probably
from like 5-4 30 love or something.
Right. She was on the verge.
Like that. Then almost pulled it back from love 30. Love 40, 5-6. It was a bit of a crazy second set, but then she obviously won the third pretty quickly. I was actually under the impression, like just watching that match, that like Muchova is not exactly playing her best at all. She seemed like she didn't really. A lot of the time, it seemed like she had issues handling Wang's pace, but also, just sort of all it was all in her head when it comes to the shot selection, etc. And I had this thought that maybe she's not gonna go that much deeper than this, but she's playing Kirsta for a semi-final spot, so maybe that's way too late for the tournaments to actually have thoughts like that.
Mukova's performance against Townsend was a little bit like that. I mean, this is not to get negative about Caroline. I think in a way this might even boost her chances of doing well. I mean, she's already, of course, in the fourth round, already in the quarterfinal. Sorry. But her performance against Townsend was scrappy at times in the first set. Again, that word, I think it's the third time I've used that today. Perhaps I was influenced after yesterday's commentary. But she pulled through, and that was good. Once she got into the second set against Townsend in the third round, it was fairly plain sailing. And it was difficult for her. I think she was finding she was finding the Sun in particular really tricky against Townsend, and Townsend was dealing with it much better in terms of the fact that she was wearing a cap at least. And also, whenever Mukova was down one end of the court, the one where there was shade, she was doing pretty well. And she began the tie break down that end where it was shade, and she raced into a 6-love lead as a result. And that was pretty much it. But yeah, she's looking good for maybe even a semi-final spot now Rebecca is out.
Yeah, I mean, I had her in the semis, but just watching the event so far, I feel like unless Ostapenko does I don't want to say impossible, but unless Ostapenko wins today, I think it's pretty clear that Muchova will not be the favorite against either of Świątek and Goff.
Not Goff? You don't think she'd be maybe not a favorite, but like a 50-50?
Not a 50-50. Closer than with Świątek, of course, but yeah, especially with Coco potentially coming off that Iga upset again. I just feel like she will have a bit of a hard time in the semis. That's how it's looking so far, at least, because that's what we got from today. And on the men's side, as I said, I don't think we really got anything from today's matches so far, and it's very likely that we're gonna, other than Shelton beating Paul, which was a bit of a could go both ways, but otherwise Francis, I mean, very easy against Hijikata for him, and Fritz is also not maybe truly like cruising, but it seems like it will be an even more monumental task from Stricker now if he was to win that one.
Djokovic applauding his opponent in a very jovial, happy, kind of go-lucky way, which suggests that he's in a good mood, which suggests that he's in front, and he is. 2-love, albeit now Gojo has a game point, but Djokovic did have a break point here again. Goyo. Maybe I need to get out of this habit.
Yeah, I used to say Gojo like in Spanish.
Yeah, right. That's what took me by surprise when you said Gojo, because Yeah, sure. If he was from Galicia or Andalusia,
Yeah. I didn't really know like what the origin of his surname is. I guess it's just, it works in Serbo-Croatian, whatever.
yeah. And Djokovic puts the backhand wide, so at least Goyo is going to avoid a bagel, and maybe he might get a bit more. They've
Yeah, sorry.
practiced quite a bit together, apparently, which is not a great surprise, bearing in mind where they're both from. So I just think that he'll have an idea about his opponent. I mean, sometimes these big guys get knocked out by the little guy because they don't, they're caught by surprise and
Yeah, you're right. I mean, in this case, I think Goyo will have a clue like how Djokovic is possibly going to play. Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys for the creakiness of my chair, but I just did something to fix that. Hopefully, that's why it was like a large sound. But right now I'm more comfortable and potentially will not be forced to move from this position for the next 5 hours.
I've neglected the live chat in the last few minutes. I was just doing something else. We've not seen or heard from Nerlan all day. So I hope
He was on the
I know.
first serve just
Yes.
at the very beginning, right?
First minute. Yeah, the first minute.
When we had technical problems, he made sure to tell me that I am muted 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Although, when I was unmuting myself, it actually just started muting me automatically, and it was like a large battle. But yeah, after that, he was not there.
Nope, that was it. He just joined at the beginning. I think it was like, "Hello, everyone. Damien, you're on mute." And that was it.
No, he checked that you're not there, like that you're not on the screen, because right now you're his favorite, right? So
yeah, I'm promoted.
So I think that's why.
Ghosty's referring to his left knee and drawing comparisons with your chair.
Sounds like Grigor Dimitrov yesterday against Alex Zverev.
Ghosty and Dimitrov. How about that?
Was that the right one? I actually don't remember if it was right or left, but never mind.
Ghosty was praising the Dimitrov Molchan match, and it's a match that he refuses to let anyone forget about, because whenever anyone says, "Oh, there's been some good matches," and they mention a few, and Ghosty's always in the chat saying, "Don't forget Molchan Dimitrov." I just think it's a match that, for one reason or another, so many of us missed until it got to the fifth set tiebreak.
Yeah, more or less.
Tell us something about Goyo.
That's something with Goyo. Yes. College background, Wake Forest University. This is why people always thought that he is so good in that's why he's so good in like team-based competitions. So Davis Cup, ATP Cup, United Cup, you name it, Borna Goyo has probably excelled in it, and that's what he says as well. Apparently he's like a crazy character as too. You can read like a long interview, I think it was maybe on Tennis Majors or something, with him, where he just doesn't really hold back, apparently at this press conference that obviously happened in New York. I did not get a chance to talk to him ever. He would reach the quarters, I think, the only time I watched him, but it just didn't really happen in Cagliari this year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, obviously the serve is the thing that stands out, and I think in general this year he has made a lot of improvements, just being more steady off the ground, just not getting outplayed on the backhand side as well. And I don't know if it's gonna help him against Djokovic. So far the early indications are not great, but I seriously think that he has a better shot at the upset than Hijikata or Stricker today. Of course, usually that would be Stricker among these three, but again, I just don't really think he can do it physically, and Hijikata didn't really have a shot whatsoever. And Goyo, if he serves just out of his mind, he's always going to be tough to stop. And of course, unless I think this has been stated many, many times before, but with this run, he will be breaking the top 100 for the first time. And this is
cool.
Maybe around almost a year after he won his first challenger title in Ortisei last year. And also he had this huge reputation for just performing great in team events for his country, but not following it up. Obviously, now he is also
Sort
just
of
playing for
Belinda,
himself.
kind of a Belinda Bencic then of the
Um,
men's tour. She's someone who
yeah.
exceeds for Switzerland.
Yeah, I get it. Benčić like probably has a reputation for exceeding for expectations for Switzerland, so like Olympics, Davis Cup for sure.
Mhm.
Sorry, Fed Cup, well, Beijing King Cup now, and also not performing at the slams, right? That's also part of Benčić's reputation.
Yeah,
But the U.S. Open has been immune to it. And
yeah,
well, I
yeah.
guess this year was a fine run too.
Yeah, not bad considering she hasn't won that many matches in recent months. I think she was out injured as well for a little bit, so she had
This year,
quite a
this year
kind
she's
of.
also like a WTA 500 bot, right?
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she
She's
had like
a
a crazy
vulture.
win rate at that level.
Okay, I like this expression about being a 250 vulture. It just makes me giggle. Some people get very upset about it, but it just makes me giggle. And it's fine. I do think Maya Sharif has got away with it quite a bit, whereas other people such as Casper Ruud get stuck with it. And I try to highlight Maya Sharif, and people just don't see Maya Sharif winning these titles because they're like the first week after a slam or something like that, and so it's like nobody's paying attention.
Arantxa
Anyway,
Rus is the most classic for sure.
who?
Arantxa Rus.
Okay, what's
She
wrong with it?
played Madison Keys here, right, in the opening round, or am I? I think so. Obviously, she's just won the WTA 250 in Hamburg, so it doesn't really work anymore. But like she is
Ah,
basically
yes.
famous for staying around the top 100 while still playing 25K events. And for example, in 2019, she got this record, which has actually just been matched by Dragos Nicolae Madaras since that was this year. But in 2019, she won 10 ITF titles in a single season. It was 10 25Ks, and she did it all while being ranked in the top 150, 140, 60, something like that. And yeah, basically she's just so well known for having a very high ranking and then playing ITF events anyway. For example, after winning Hamburg, that 250, she still went to Spain for like an 80K or something like that, and her ranking was 40, around that. Yeah, so I think she's like the most classic example of vulturing in tennis. Obviously, that's also related to the fact that she just likes clay basically and plays 90% of her events on clay. So sometimes her scheduling choices could be a little limited, but of course she's also very forever going to be remembered for beating Iga Świątek just before the Roland Garros 2020 title in Rome.
Okay. She beat you on clay as well?
I mean, yeah, she beat her in Rome a week earlier.
In Rome, yes, I remember the Rome warm up. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Djokovic won that one.
first round in Rome, Arantxa Rus beats Iga Świątek, and
Okay.
then Iga Świątek wins in Paris.
Goyo is facing another break point. I wasn't even aware that Liam Brody was playing well in the doubles. Apparently, in the mixed doubles at
Ooh,
least. Yeah, so I
me
wasn't aware
neither.
of that, and I guess I should. I guess I should have guessed because I keep seeing pictures of him still in New York, practicing at least, and I thought, okay, so I guess that's why. So that means that probably what challenges are happening about now?
I think he was supposed to play in Istanbul. Oh no, sorry, Cassis. He was supposed to play in Cassis. No,
When? Like now?
well, I mean, since Monday.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's obviously
So,
not then.
well, he is in the draw.
Well, he's playing tomorrow in New York. He's going to have to skate off pretty quickly. I've only just realised because Ghosty mentioned it that Brody and his partner.
I mean, is he?
This is what Ghosty said, and I've just found it on Google. Yeah, so Rus, who you're just mentioning, lost in doubles today against Brody and Huang. I mean, Brody's having an okay
What?
year in doubles as well. Yeah.
Do you mean men's doubles, not mixed?
Isn't it? Is it men's or is it mixed? That one. Let me just have a quick look.
No, because I just pulled up mixed doubles draw, and I cannot really find Brody.
Yes, it's men's doubles. Yes, apologies. Yeah, it's
Okay.
because he said Roos, but he says this is Ghosty talking here. Brody and Brody's partner beat Roos today. Yeah, Roos is a woman. You got that one, Ghosty. Thank you.
What? What? I mean, Brody is not even in the men's doubles draw.
I've got him here tomorrow. Although
What?
is that maybe that's not New York? Let me just check.
Yeah, I mean
Oh, that's
that's in Cassis. Yeah.
Cassis. There we go.
Yes, Sam Verbeek and Maximilian Neuchrist are not the second seeds of the men's doubles in New York. All due respect to Sam Verbeek especially. But anyway, yeah.
Mostly you threw me there. Maybe I've misinterpreted what he said.
Do you have
There's an
women in your
American
town?
Brody. There's an American Brody apparently. Well, that's okay, Ghosty. But if you mention Brody on this show, I'm not going to be even. I'm not going to think Naomi. I'm not going to think his brother. Oh, and it's
Yeah,
Brady.
there's no American Brody. No. And
No,
there's also just Jen Brady. There's no
he
like
definitely
doubles
wrote Brody.
player
I'm sure.
to make. Yeah.
Let me go back with it. I think he wrote Brody. Yeah, he wrote Brody. He's this week. He's really gone strange with his typing. He's getting his R's and his his sausage fingers are really all over. I think the cat is running over the keyboard and typing all sorts of things in. Talking of cats, I don't know how I'm going to segue this in, but Djokovic is broken again, but I can't get
it was Brady and Stefania beating Maria and Rus. Yeah, so now that we've solved this, Liam Brody is indeed in Cassis.
He is back in. He is in Cassis, and the pictures that I've been seeing him in New York, I guess, have come to an end. But maybe they're just still being posted by David Samuel. Djokovic is broken again. Again, it's Gojo just going a few centimeters too long.
You know, Brody is probably not going to be playing tomorrow, so maybe he was still in the States.
Yeah, well, of course, tomorrow now is Tuesday, so I guess that's when his doubles match is. Where's Cassis, by the way? Where's that? Is that France? Or?
France, yeah. Could even be like on Wednesday, easily. So tomorrow there's just the final qualies round and then 4 first round matches, and he's not on tomorrow. So on
I've
Monday,
got him on doubles tomorrow.
No, I mean that's not. That's just provisional, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was an interesting question as well. Do you have women in your town?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, one woman is in my house right now. It is my mother. And this is not a beginning of some weird Oedipus story, no.
Oh, how about this? Goyo's got the first point on the Djokovic serve, as in like the first point of the game. He's really struggled on the Novak serve and doesn't seem to be a great returner, at least.
And on his as well.
Huh?
And he's also struggled on his serve.
Yeah, he has struggled
on his game of Goyo so far.
That's his strength,
Yeah, every single game of Goyo so far, I think, has been extremely tough. So.
Yeah, because Novak is not. I think Novak's break record in this set has not been great either. I bet he's broken like 2 from 6 or something.
Well, but if you look at it differently and like look at 3 service games for Goyo and the fact that he's broken twice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I'm just we often look at you look at break points taken, and we talk about being ruthless.
Break percentage probably, especially if the edge is so huge, probably more important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shelton Tiafoe, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Paul Tiafoe, I can't even remember who I thought was going to win Paul Tiafoe. Who do I think is going to win Shelton Tiafoe? I'm actually not convinced anymore that it's going to be Francis,
Tiafoe's slight favourite, but yeah. I got some quarterfinal predictions from Jethro today as well, as in like what he made before the tournament.
No, Casper Ruud, I think, was probably the only one that I'd be like if he said it to me before the tournament, that's the only one from the 8. I'd be like, really? The other 7 kind of all make sense for one reason or another.
Which one?
Casper Ruud.
Casper Ruud. Yeah. That's fine, I think. I just had a lot of belief in either Wolf or Zhang knocking him out, but I think that's fine. No, there was definitely a chance that he just played himself into form and does basically what Casper Ruud has been doing at all slams recently. Well, almost all slams, but Wimbledon basically.
Australia wasn't great for him either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Djokovic at 30 all, the most bother he's been in all match, I would suggest. But he does go on to win the next point with an unreturnable. Jake, Ghosty, you've started something now with this. Are there women? Oh, I've started it inadvertently you started it, Ghosty, with getting the Brady thing all wrong, and then now we're at Jake saying he met a lovely barmaid today. That's where we're at now. His conversation has escalated. Goyo, please win a set at least. Max, I don't think tennis works like that, where you sort of ask and say please, and it sort of happens, at least to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, Goyo could use an easy game on his serve, but so far it's not happening. I just read an interesting tweet that says, drives me absolutely nuts to see these serve forehand guys make neutral errors with their forehands. Well, Goyo, I guess the problem is that he's a bit of a serve guy rather than serve forehand guy. But, he can play better tennis off the ground than he has so far.
Horrible forehand for him. He is also sweating a lot. But let me tell you, these Lotto T-shirts that are made for the men and the women at this year's tournament are not flattering to those who sweat profusely, because I remember seeing a few others that just so on Jabeurs as well, just dripping, especially after her first round match. And it's sort of shiny as well. So it's sort of, look at that. I mean, and he's not really being made to work a lot. I mean, Djokovic is just winning points, but I don't think he's probably, is that a forehand winner from Novak? I think it is. Yeah. And he didn't run for it. 30 love, or love 30, sorry. It'd already gone out. It looks like it'd already gone out from Goyo anyway. Okay, so love 30, 2 points away from sealing this set. I had an hour's break between Goff finishing and this one beginning. It's now at that stage of the tournament where it's not exactly thick and fast anymore. I mean, all matches now are on Armstrong and Ash. So 15-30 on the Goyo serve. As Damien highlighted, there hasn't been a single comfortable service game for the Croatian yet, and I don't anticipate this one being comfortable either.
If someone is slightly familiar, by the way, with the guy sitting in Goyo's box, he is Mate Delic. Yes, the former world number 150 from Croatia. He stopped playing like a few years back, and apparently has been working with Goyo for like the past year or so.
Did somebody mention him in the live chat?
No, but I just remember when I saw him at the in Cagliari when I watched Goyo, I kept seeing his coach, and I was like, "Holy, I know this guy, but I cannot place him at all." And eventually, there was also this friend of mine there whom you also talked to about like this. You told him to tell me about the Shelton win-loss record on clay this year. You remember?
Yeah.
The guy from Germany. And
I know you mean.
Yeah, and he had the same feeling. Like he was just looking at Goyo's coach as well, and like he knew he had seen his face before, but we couldn't place him, and we eventually found him on like Instagram or something.
His name is
and Mate Delic. And I also
Ghosty mention him. Yeah, look. He says I had this
really?
Chinese hamburger. It was delish.
I also I also saw a kid when I still didn't know who he was. I saw a kid asking him for an autograph, and it really messed with my head because I was like, okay, is this guy famous enough to really give out autographs? And
Uh-huh.
apparently not. I mean, I think the kid just came up to him, because he thought that he was a tennis player. But yeah, that's Mate Delic. If anyone is having that same sort of problem that me and Alex had in Cagliari, there you go.
Djokovic has just hit a very nice forehand winner, and then he's asked for the approval from the crowd, which of course he duly got because it was pretty special.
I mean, if you were talking about nice forehand winners, you're gonna see something in a moment. I mean that's probably faster than the Sheldon serve from earlier.
But Goyo has tried that like about 10 times, and
Yes, yes.
oh, look, it's very close, this one too. But 9 times it's gone long to varying degrees. In fact, I think the most recent one was so far out it almost landed in Philadelphia. But this one just clipped the line. That's nice.
Does Goya even have like unreturned serves today? It seems like everything is coming back
Exactly.
from Novak.
Every
Yeah,
return feels like that one from Novak, where he gets a nice block on it and then just more or less stays in the rally.
yeah.
Goyo still should have won that point, but he's dumped a rather easy shot into the net because he decided to go for a drop off that one.
Just asks the question constantly, and Goya keeps feeding the forehand errors. Well, one time he landed it.
I think you've gone for Goff for your women's winner, right? Not with any great deal of
Uh,
conviction.
I mean, that's what I did when we were talking on the stream, when I actually did the picks, which was, well, in a very inconspicuous situation.
Hmm.
I actually picked Świątek eventually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So we'll give you Swiatek then, just because I'm just making a note of it for like
Okay.
little things like this. Look, here we go. So I went for Sabalenka, Jack, Pagula, you Swiatek.
Yeah, I had Świątek over Sabalenka in the final eventually. And
It's
we have a game for Borna Goyo. The crowd goes wild. Yay! 5-2. But it wasn't that free game that I'm waiting for, where Goyo just lands 4 great serves and Novak returns like one of them. No.
Did Novak try and catch that ball in his pocket? I don't know if he did or it worked, but as the ball which went way into the air, he just obviously the point was over. Looked like he was trying to catch in his pocket. And I've got you and me down for Alcaraz for the men's title. Sure who his quarterfinals there. Nothing too crazy either. That's a pretty solid one. Again, Tsitsipas is the standout name. Not because he's out, but just because of his record in New York is so pitiful. And Tsitsipas's record, probably post Australia, isn't exactly great. I think he's won a title, I'm going to say, in Los Cabos, maybe. And that's pretty much it. He didn't make a 1,000 final this year, I don't recall. Wimbledon was.
Tsitsipas?
Did he make a 1,000 final this year?
I don't think so. I mean, has he really been close to it?
No.
I don't think he's come close. Yeah.
500s? Is he? Oh, he was in a 500 final in Barcelona.
Yeah, because he has like this comical 500 final record, right?
Yeah, he's not won one, right?
Yeah, he has like 0 and 9 or whatever.
Oh, okay. So he's got to 9 finals. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes it a bit worse. But generally, I'm not too big on that. Like if you showed me a player who'd won a couple of Grand Slams and a couple of Masters 1000s, but you said, oh, he's never won a 250, I'd be like,
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you've done it at the higher level, like it
yeah,
does not matter whatsoever. Milos Raonic, for example, doesn't have a challenger title. Am I gonna
there you
say that
go.
he's weaker than, I don't know, Dragos
Liam
Dima,
Brody.
for example? Because
Liam Brody.
Dragos Dima or Liam Brody? No, of course not. I guess that would also mean that right now there's not a single top 100 player who doesn't own a challenger title, because there used to be like Bryden Schnur, there used to be Gaston, but now he's got one. I think that would mean that there's no top 100 player without a challenger title now.
The Djokovic smash works on this occasion. 15 love. I'm just sharing the Stricker Fritz score because Jake has just highlighted that Stricker's conditioning is understandably worsening. Yeah. I have no idea what some of these things are, Ghosty. Oh dear, Goyo. 30 love.
Cornbread I actually did last year, maybe. Yeah, we had this presentation on American food. That was basically a topic that we could choose at the university, and we prepared like 10 American food items, and cornbread was one of them. And we came into class and just started doing like a testing, you know, of a taste test, let's say, of all of these, and then putting them onto a tier list. And one of them, the finishing item, was whiskey, and we actually drank in class, which was fun.
Sorry, I just put my hands to my face in disappointment and I don't know what. Not because of your story about whiskey and
Yes.
cornbread, but because of
You were
Goyo.
disappointed with me drinking whiskey and
Yeah.
eating cornbread.
Goyo's attempt at a drop shot was, yeah. Well, I'll leave it at that. It was an attempt.
Yeah. I mean, when Goyo played, who did he play in the first round? Vesely, right? He was
Yeah.
just ultra consistent off the ground, just allowed Vesely to, run out of it physically. And today he's just killing that forehand, and then, yeah, as you said earlier.
He just hit his best return of serve and he still lost
Yeah.
the point
Didn't
because
really
Djokovic's
matter.
reflexes were just insane.
Yeah, but on the next shot, Goyo just goes for another one of these like super
then
low margin shots and
hits into net, yeah. But I guess that's an understandable tactic. You got to go low margin against Djokovic.
Depends. Well, maybe not so low margin, right? I think there is a moment when it's enough, and I think Goya is maybe trying a bit too hard. But it is an understandable notion, obviously. Yes.
Today I've seen about 10 different pictures of Goyo, and he doesn't look like the same person in any of them. I'm currently looking at one, just showing me the first set stats. He's wearing a red t-shirt. He's got sort of dark hair, and it's almost curling.
Yeah, that's the bleached hair, right?
Yeah, he's got bleached hair now, but I honestly, I've seen all sorts of different, and it's not like he has different lengths drastically to the hair, but just various different looks that if the 10 photos were put next to each other, I would think it was a lineup, and 10 different people, not the same dude.
That's true. Like if when I put him into Google and I just see like the first 20 pictures, there are some where he has a goatee and he looks like Sebastian Ofner. There are some where he looks like Borna, Laszlo Djere when he has like very short hair. And right now with bleach, I think he looks exactly like when Nicolas Moreno de Alboran had bleach on his hair. So I guess I see what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, I was very concerned when I was choosing the thumbnail for this and worried that I was going to just randomly choose the wrong person. But I think I got the right dude from an earlier round, probably here in New York.
I'll take that. Like, oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, and he's also got a beard here. So even here, has he got a beard today? I think he's clean shaven, but I know he's got a bit of a beard. But anyway, yeah, you just got to be careful with these because you could just randomly get the wrong one.
Yeah, Ghosty often has a goatee most of the time, at least. Well, or at least used to have one. I'm not sure if he had one here, but most of the time he wears a goatee. Yeah.
I had Owen on earlier. Owen from Popcorn. Owen Lewis. I got him on after the golf match. He came on for a 10-minute chat. Did you not do any writing for Popcorn at some point or another?
Yeah, I did.
I thought so.
Absolutely, never any consistency when it came to that. I am planning though to write at least one piece for them this year. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I think at least one a year would be a good habit.
Yeah, a good habit. Yeah.
Why not? I mean, there's no harm really, a piece on like a niche topic that no one would really want at another website, or like it wouldn't give me much money for at another website. I can write a piece a year. I think last year I did this one about Zhang, Shang, and Wu, which was pretty cool, and I'm gonna try to do something creative here, but I don't know yet. I have one piece that I will definitely write at the end of the year, but I don't know if it's exactly a good fit for popcorn tennis. So I will think about it.
Talking tennis, we're always looking for features too. So if you ever have anything that's too crazy and too wacky, even for popcorn, let me know.
Yeah, honestly, my motivation to write is not great.
I have the same issue.
Yeah, if it actually, like, I write the stuff that pays,
Yeah,
but when it comes to these pieces that I would have to like work really hard on, and then you publish them, you tweet them out, you get like 15 likes, and that's really it.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like most of the time it just makes more sense for me to, just, I don't know, keep tweeting even, because it's also work, but at the same time it's not as taxing, I guess. You don't have to actually sit for an hour and a half, and write a whole article and actually do proper research.
What's this about Kazakina's service like Japanese horror cinema that Ghosties? Is he quoting a piece of yours here?
No, definitely not. He's just referring, obviously, to my MA thesis, which was not about Japanese horror, but horror as a whole. And I do like Japanese horror. It's kind of wild, and like there's a lot of crazy happening. Whereas with Kasatkina's serve, I guess it's just very tame. So probably not like Japanese horror, but I'm sure you could find an argumentation for that.
So Ghosty did a deep dive on Owen from Popcorn. Ghosty, let us know the revelations that you came up with. When was the last time somebody bageled Novak Djokovic? I know Rafa did it in French Open final. I would dare to say that no one's done it since French Open
final 2020. I know Thomas Bellucci did it in Rome 2016. That's obviously Federer a few times.
Did Bellucci win that match?
The last one was no. Cincinnati, I guess, was the last one. Last time Federer probably bageled him. Wasn't there someone? Sam Querrey famously in Paris as well. Actually, Sam Querrey got bageled by Novak and won the match.
Okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah, 2012 Paris. Let me see.
So Querrey's got at least 2 notable wins over Novak then.
Yeah, Goyo, he has been bageled by Andrei Rublev in the final in Belgrade.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And this is kind of wild. Of the 13 bagels that Novak has got fed, I guess. I don't know how to say
handed
that.
To him, maybe.
Handed to him in his career. 5 of them have been in finals, and it's actually the last 3 bagels that he got handed to him.
Okay.
That came in finals. So usually you wouldn't expect, I guess, a bagel in a final, but that's what's been happening. And Bellucci is one of the 6 times when he got bageled and won the match.
Goyo went huge on a forehand, and for one of the first times I can remember, it actually ended up turning out to be a winner and got an applause to get to love 15. Novak wins the next point, but then the next point, Djokovic almost inexplicably goes for the drop shot, and it didn't work, and he's at 15-30, which is about as close as Goyo has got so far to the Novak serve, and I think he might even have a second serve here if that bounced out. My TV's down, of course, so I never quite know if they landed in or not. I suspect that did land out. I'll see what the nature of this second serve looks like. And Goyo is just approaching the service line. Yeah, that's a second serve. Okay, Novak on the forehand here. And Goyo going big on the forehand. And this time, 10 meters out.
Yeah. There's definitely a degree of feeling I'm playing the GOAT, let's say. I'm playing one of the best players ever. I have to risk, but he's kind of overplaying it.
The problem is on the forehand, at least, I've probably seen him risk 15 times, and I think I can remember once when it worked out.
That winner that clipped the line and
That one
was pretty astonishing.
Oh, actually,
as
two
well,
then, two. The one that clipped the line, there was also another one in this game.
in this game, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're actually gonna see a pretty nice forehand combination from Goyo as well in just a moment.
Good. I like.
So the
I like
most
good.
important point of Borna Goyo's career coming up.
I still think the reflex from Djokovic was pretty impressive. I know he didn't win the point, but the defense from Djokovic was still wow. So we've got our first break point of the match as Goyo heads towards handing out Djokovic's first bagel in about 18 months. So Djokovic is 2 from 7. I guessed at 2 from 6, but 2 from 7 on break points.
And that's what we're gonna have now. Okay, second serve as well. Borna Goyo, this is your moment. It all starts here, the comeback.
Yeah. But well, I'm waiting for a huge shot. It's terribly wrong.
Me too. Okay, not spoiling anything.
Okay, Djokovic is bouncing the ball, and he's still bouncing the ball. Of course he is. Backhand return from Goyo, forehand Djokovic. Goyo being made to run around the court. Djokovic attacks, coming into the net. Djokovic goes for a volley. Doesn't work. And we've got 2 games to love for Borna Goyo. By the way, I don't know if you saw this. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have seen it, but I've put a poll on for this episode. And can you see that on the screen right now?
Yep.
Who or what is most likely to stop Novak?
Yeah, I actually don't know. It's possible that I would vote Goyo. I really have very, very, very low belief in Fritz or Tiafoe beating Djokovic. However, just the way Fritz has been playing so far, maybe there's a shot. And Tiafoe, if he just played, I don't know, some of his magic.
The problem with Fritz, though, I would add, if I hadn't seen them play this year.
Yes, you're right.
But the problem is they played a few weeks ago in Cincinnati and it was ugly.
Yeah. I mean, if I hadn't seen them play like ever, then I would say Fritz 100%.
But if even just not this year, because I would also draw on the match they played in Turin last year. Nice forehand winner there for Goyo. I would draw on the match they played in Turin, which was super close. I think I think it was straight sets for Novak, but I think Fritz had a set point in the first set and dumped a really horrible backhand into the net, which also
that +1 backhand down the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't someone call out from the crowd, and it was annoying, but you still got to deal with that, haven't you? Sometimes. Yeah. So that I would draw on and go, you know what? And if Taylor had taken another step forward this year, a lot of if I know, but
I kind of have just very low confidence in Fritz beating Novak if they meet. So that's why I would maybe even say that Goyo has the highest chance. Which sounds a bit crazy. I just don't think it is really. And we can see that Jake is tired because he says that he can barely keep my opens open.
I understand. I think, and he's also been on the beer today as well at the rugby. So
keep your opens open, but your closed.
There you go. By the way, we peaked again today for the Coco Gauff match with Wozniacki at 77 viewers.
Wow. I mean, Coco seems to be a huge draw, right?
She is. And also Danish players, I think there's something going on because Holger Rune and now Wozniacki seem to be, and I mean this as well when I talk about social media, if you tweet something or put something out there, both seem to gather a lot of attention, likes, etc.
Yeah, my one of my bosses, I remember said to me like a couple of months ago, like if we get the chance, we need to highlight golf in the title of the article or like in the tags, and etc. Because
Right.
apparently she draws like 30% more
Yeah.
engagement toward compared to the rest of the players. Maybe it's also an American thing because I think like maybe 40, 30, 50, yeah, like 30-40% of the website's readers are American, but
Okay.
yeah, certainly there is something to it.
There was a shot from Goyo, by the way, which I assume Djokovic was contesting because it did look out on the replay.
Yeah, when they showed it on slow motion,
Yeah.
it looked like just it may be clipped by a tiny bit, but like a maybe really.
Anyway, Goyo really just has to hold serve here, and then we've got an interesting second set. Novak again with a block return, good depth on that block return as well. Goyo goes big, quite big on the forehand, but actually maybe just held a bit back on that one. Djokovic slice. Seen quite a few Djokovic slices today. Djokovic gets a net cord go his way. That must have been close as well to the line from Goyo. And it's
Yep.
Djokovic on the unforced error on the forehand. So it's 40-30.
Yeah, Goyo does not look that comfortable hitting off that slice, but he still clipped the line again. If he keeps painting lines like this, maybe he can actually snatch that set. But
Yeah, I've seen Novak do it a few times. I don't know whether it's a tactic or it's just been a natural part of the play, and it seemed to be the natural shot that came to him. But
yeah,
yes,
when you're like
there's
diffusing
height.
someone's power, I guess it's pretty natural, right?
Yeah. Okay, second serve here for Novak to look at, I think. Yeah, second serve. Oh, he's not going to look at it because it's a double fault.
You're talking of golf, Ghosty, but yeah, John also said that Wozniacki works like that too as well.
A little bit. I have less background on Wozniacki than Holger Rune, for example. But Rune, Jabeur. You know what? Funny enough, I'd probably put all of these ahead of even Novak. Rafa, of course, but I'd probably put, like, in terms of traction, Swiatek is just incredible. Jabeur gets quite a bit. We've got a break point now for Djokovic. Yeah, Rune. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty. I mean, Serena, I guess, briefly while she was still on the tour while I was doing this kind of thing. And I don't just mean doing a live stream, but I also mean like if you put a tweet out, if you put a thing on YouTube community, on Facebook or whatever. And yeah, Sabalenka, Rybak, and I guess I'm saying a lot of obvious names, but the one thing you would probably say is that the players like Fritz, for example, no. Djokovic, no. Don't probably come ahead of any of the players I just mentioned.
Well, on Twitter, you can get a lot of likes when it comes to Djokovic if like the Nola fan picks it up.
I guess if you frame the tweet in the right way, yeah. But I'm just saying you could just write Swiatek wins her match today, and that will get plenty of traction compared to Fritz wins his match today, for example.
Oh yeah, of course. There's just a huge fan base for Swiatek.
Yeah, but she also divides opinion for some odd reason, although Gojo, I'm sure, is going to get involved in the chat. I don't understand why she divides opinion other than the fact that she's very successful. But so as a result, that's also somebody, he's double fault again.
Yeah, I find it kind of funny. There's this guy on Twitter that I follow, and honestly, he has some good opinions. Like I kind of respect, at least used to respect what he tweets about, but not right now. He's become like a bit of a Świątek hater, where 50% of his tweets are about Iga, and basically he just keeps saying that tournaments are corrupt and they're for example that Świątek will only play day matches. I don't know what he's writing about today, because Świątek he's playing a night match. But yeah, right now like 50% of his tweets are about Iga, and that really seems like a lot of misguided hate there.
Journalist?
No, just a fan.
Goyo double fault again. I think it's the third time in that game. He's clearly going big on the second serve, so it's not. He seemed to be very agitated about something as well, but I don't know what.
Goyo is agitated about, apart from the fact that maybe he's just lost his serve. And the bagel is not happening in this set, at least. Yeah, he's pretty volatile. Did I also hear something about he's going to try and get in Novak's head by saying stuff, doing stuff, and just sort of, being funny, sort of Kyrgios-esque? I think I
Ben
did hear.
Shelton, by the way, is also in the quarterfinals of the mixed doubles. That's quite exciting, and he's playing with Taylor Townsend. So, would be pretty huge if we get that semi there. Townsend, Shelton, Pegula, Krajicek. That would be pretty huge.
I think we've got, if not our first, it's certainly the first one I can recall. We've got our first angry emoji on Facebook. So I don't know if that's something we've said about it, but it could be anything that we've said about Swiatek, or it could be something we said about Novak. Who knows? But we've got someone who has reacted angrily. Robinson Lopez. Or it could just be the fact that we're not showing the match. I don't know. Or maybe he's a Goyo fan and he's frustrated with his man for double faulting 3 times in the last game.
Yeah, Jake, I did not mention this, the username specifically, because I didn't want to, but I can tell you in a DM on Twitter.
So Novak is about to serve at 1-2. Back on serve now. I think Goyo might have had a game point at 40-30, and that's when one of the double faults occurred. He's clearly was just going big on the second serve. It wasn't like he was nervous about potentially going into a 3-love lead. A second serve here for Goyo to look at. It's actually from Facebook, Ghosty, that the anger came back. So obviously on YouTube you can hit like or dislike or whatever, but on Facebook you're allowed a variety of emotions, including a heart, a regular like, and anger is one of the responses that you can use, and Senor Lopez has gone for that. For whatever
Maybe
reason.
it's the fact that we don't have the visuals, that sometimes.
I thought that's one possibility, but I'd rather go with just him being either an angry Igor or angry Novak fan. Even though we didn't say anything bad about either player, sometimes people just hear something and they.
Why not an angry Borna Goyo fan?
Or that's what I also suggested. Yeah, maybe he's a very frustrated Goyo fan. Maybe it was Goyo himself with the pseudonym of Robinson Lopez, because the reaction to him on court was pretty clear of how annoyed he was as he tries to go big with a forehand return, trying to imitate Novak, but of course it goes out.
It's good that we have this electronic line calling, because some of these Goyo forehands I feel like would not be picked up by the human eye.
Yeah, so for Goyo it's not good, the electronic. He's going to get a second serve to look at here, but he is 40 love, so... What's going on with Stricker? And that must be pretty... Oh, it's very much the business end. Stricker is a little nervy at the moment because it's deuce on his serve. Novak holds, by the way, so it's 2 games all. But yes, crucial moments here for Stricker on his serve at deuce 4 all. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if it is your first time here, or even if it's not, but you just haven't done so, please subscribe. Still don't think this tournament has quite taken off in the same way that the last couple of versions have. Jethro mentioned earlier, and I would probably agree with that the last 2 years had sensational matches, but also sensational storylines, whether it be Venus's retirement or Novak's obviously pursuit of the calendar slam, and then of course Raducanu and Layla and all those 5-setters with Sinner and Alcaraz last year, and Tiafoe too.
This has Dominic Strikervoro in the 4th round of the US Open. So which one is better? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, the Tsitsipas thing, but if you just had like 4 or 5 matches more like that, then sure. By the way, Taylor Fritz is serving for it. He did actually break Stricker.
yep.
It does kind of annoy me really so much when a guy's coming into the net and they've got a chance to go big on the forehand, or just but they go for the safe one. So they just sort of go towards the body of the player or go cross court, but that's where the player can get a racket on it. And that happened in a rally about 2 rallies ago when Djokovic ended up winning the point. 15:30 now. This set does sort of feel a bit familiar to me. We've got 4 people watching on Facebook right now, so one of you can maybe at least hit the like button to neutralize this anger. Go on, Goyo, put this one away. Yes, you do. 30 all. That t-shirt, man. I don't think he even changed it at the end of the first set. It looks like he's gone swimming, or there's been a torrential downpour. That's nice. That was a really difficult backhand. 40-30. How's our poll looking? I don't mean Damien. Oh, Fritz is getting quite a bit of love in the poll in terms of who's going to knock out Djokovic, possibly. Backhand return from Novak, backhand from Goyo, backhand slice there from Novak, forehand from Goyo, backhand Goyo, forehand Novak, good winner from him, deuce. Not much Goyo could have done about that. I think if Ostapenko against Swiatek was on at a slightly more convenient time for European viewers, we'd have had a pretty good crowd for that too. If you'd put Coco on at that time and Ego on the other time, then probably the figures would be reversed.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's the
nice forehand.
That's the Labor Day weekend, right? So they basically swap the matches, and prime time is actually day.
Yeah. Well, today's Sunday. Are you talking about tomorrow or today?
I mean, both.
You mean Monday?
But no, I mean Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
That's how it was on Saturday as well. That the usual night matches were in the day session, and that's the case here today as well, of course.
And may even be the case again tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah.
Carlos is
looking
on
at the
tomorrow.
schedule, I think they are maintaining that for one more day too.
Carlos is on in the day. In fact, Tom is going to do the commentary for Carlos's match with Arnaldi tomorrow.
That is I think not that clear which one is because actually Zverev Sinner is probably the better match there, right? But Keith Pegula starts on Arthur Ashe, so it's like Shelton and Paul starting today, right? That is a match that would usually be in the night session.
Mm-hmm.
We have Zverev Sinner at 3 a.m. probably tomorrow.
Okay. I will try one way or another to do another 4 matches tomorrow. I'll have a look. I'll have a look right now, which might be 3 matches, but something like that. Women's singles. Maybe I can do a 5 o'clock
If I do maybe Peyton Stearns against Von Drusefer at 5 o'clock, and then who's on Ash first? Who's on Ash first tomorrow? Keys Pagula. Yeah, Keys Pagula. Might do Peyton Stearns, Keys Pagula, Carlos Arnaldi. Who's on after Carlos and Arnaldi on Ash? Probably the night matches, I guess. Which will be Kazatkina Sabalenka. Is there only one? Oh, hang on. There must be a men's singles on at night on Ash. Who's the men's singles on? Oh, yeah, you just said it's Zverev Sinner. We'll get probably 4 matches again tomorrow, maybe 5. Depends. See how that pans out. I think we said it before. No, Fritz did get the job done against Strucker, so that's him into the quarterfinals, where he's going to be playing, of course, Borna Goyo. Djokovic to serve here at 2-3. Forehand return goes long from Goyo. Sounds rather familiar. Ghosty suggesting Taylor looking good. Yeah, maybe. I haven't seen much of him. But there hasn't been a match he's gone into where I thought he should lose today or he might lose today. I think it says more about his draw than... It's an ace there from Novak. More about his draw than necessarily his form. But Ghosty, maybe you've seen more Fritz than I have, so maybe there is something. And he's also had Grand Slam matches where he should have won before and not won them. For example, a year ago in the first round. And at Wimbledon this year. And probably again in Australia in that defeat to Poprin. Novak pretty comfortable on serve, 40 love. Those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Novak goes down the tee, but it's long, so it's a second serve for Goyo to look at here.
Yeah, I mean, Fritz has only been broken once in 12 sets, which has to be pretty impressive. But now, of course, this is where the level of competition goes up incredibly.
Well, against Borna Goyo, it's going to go up a lot, yeah.
Well, yeah, if Fritz is going to play Goyo in the quarters, he could be going deep. If Fritz is going to play Novak Djokovic, big ask. But then again, like this so far has been like an ideal week for Fritz, right? He has wasted 0 energy compared to anyone else, basically. Today it was pretty hot. I guess he played at a later hour than, for example, Paul Shelton, but he handled that okay too. Well, he was playing Stricker, who was pretty tired himself. But like it wasn't the Brandon Holt situation from last year. Yeah, Jake, I very much agree with that. That he would have caused Fritz more problems in one-off match. Like if they play in the indoor season, for example, right? Stricker has every chance, I think, of winning that one. It's just that today, that was not really possible. Yeah, actually not sure what Stricker is going to play, but I'm assuming, all of these indoor events like Antwerp, Basel or Vienna. Well, Basel, of course, because he's Swiss. This is where he should be good. And in fact, even last year, he was already doing well there. Antwerp, he made the second round at from the qualies, and Basel, he made the second round at not from the qualies. So this could be a big part of the year for Stricker, I think, and maybe where he starts winning matches consistently. Is he also in the next gen finals one more year? No, he's actually not. No, he is. Okay. he is potentially in the next gen finals as well. It's just that before this week he was not really in contention. Well, he was in contention for that, but right now his spot looks kind of secured for the next gen finals in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which obviously is a quite controversial decision. Alcaraz, Rune, I think we can safely say that they're not going to be playing. Musetti, maybe. Ben Shelton, if he wins the US Open, he could qualify for the ATP finals. Oh, yeah. I see a Manchester United reference. So because I knew John was going to be watching that one, because we chatted about it on the first serve. Well, before the first serve, or like after the first serve, I can't remember exactly. But because we chatted, I actually checked the result. And I checked it for the first time in the 88th minute. And it was 2-1 United. So you could imagine my surprise when I eventually learned that it was 3-1 Arsenal, actually. And that second goal was not allowed.
Yeah. Yes, that
but
was
I see you're doing fine, though. I see you're doing fine. So
tennis is a welcome distraction. Yeah. It was a bizarre last couple of minutes.
After Medvedev won in Mallorca earlier today, my father was like very surprised. Why am I so joyful on the when he saw me in the corridor? And I was like, Medvedev won Mallorca.
Did your father understand?
I don't know. I guess I don't think he's really watched that much of Medvedev, other than maybe the semi against Kacin in Gstaad, where Medvedev won 4 games. So all this added time, Sean, I agree. I think we have the technology to like start stopping play when it's actually stopped. So maybe just limit it to 60 minutes or something, because I don't know.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well.
Yeah. Something about this is just looking very iffy to me. When I suggested this, I have a few friends who are football umpires, and like when I suggested this to them, they were like, "No, what are you talking about? I mean, there are 15 minutes of breaks. Well, let's say 12 minutes of breaks during the match. Then that's why we do stoppage time like this." And I don't know, something about this just feels very weird to me when I see
the other thing
plus 12, plus 13. Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that would if you I would actually go to 70 minutes personally. But
Okay.
we can call it whatever. We can maybe even just look at an average amount of time the ball is normally in play, which tends to be around about 65. But the only argument against it, and I mean it's the only argument, it's just tradition. It's the way it was. 90 minutes that's how a match is, and that's how it's always been.
Yeah, but 90 plus 12 is not tradition.
No, it's not. But then maybe time wasting is getting worse and worse and worse. So it would be interesting to know whether actually the amount of ball in play is actually going up as a result of this extra time, because the substitutions, there's more substitutions now than ever before because they're allowed to make more substitutions. So that obviously wastes time. My theory is that if you then said like a 70-minute match, and so that you stop the clock as soon as it goes out, as soon as there's a goal scored, you don't have excessive celebrations to waste time if you score a goal near the end. You don't wait. You can't waste time. You can't roll around and just kill time, because you're not killing any time, because we've got the clock and it's not moving if the ball is not in play. We won't have ball boys not giving the ball back quickly to suit the home team, etc. at certain points, or being extra quick to suit the home team as well. So yeah, and by the way, you can be through on goal with the ball, but if the 70 minutes is up, 70 minutes is up. Boom, whistle. And also it's one less job for the referee to do. It's one less thing for everyone to worry about. You can't waste time. You won't get players rolling around just to kill time, etc. near the end of matches and so on. So for me, it's pretty clear. The only reason it's not changed is tradition. It's one of 2 significant rule changes that I would employ to the game, and I think it would be for the better. The other one is the handball rule, just to make it easy. If the ball hits the hand, it's a penalty. That's it. End of story. Okay, it may be accidental, but very rarely is a handball deliberate. It does happen, of course, but probably 80%, 90% of handballs are accidental. your arm just happens to be in the wrong position, the wrong way.
Yeah, but
whatever.
what if it's like, basically etch your body like this, and
Yeah, I mean,
then it
there's
hits
nothing
your
you can
hand?
do about it. But then,
Yeah.
I don't know if Goyo can do anything about these double faults he keeps throwing in either. Oh, Florian there is saying, time to go to bed for our match today. Indeed. I'm going to be playing Florian in just over 9 hours.
You're gonna beat him for sure. John sucks at best of 5. John sucks at best of 5.
He said, I think he suggested the same. But we had a similar situation last week where I was doing a night stream and I beat him 6-love 6-2. So,
Ooh.
but that was best of 3, of course. But we've lengthened this match that we played. So we played Saturday, was it? I think we played Saturday. Florian, maybe you can tell me. Yeah, it was Saturday. We played, and it was 1 set all. I think I told you, Damien, we've just lengthened it to a 5-set match because of that. So Florian is Boiler Boy for those in the chat wondering who because on Instagram we'll often do a post before or after our game. Nice, comfortable hold of serve there for Borna. He's making a habit of this. Nah, that wasn't illegal, Ghosty. It was the hand of God. So what can you do? Can't take that away.
Yeah, it wasn't really Maradona touching the ball. It was
God.
actually
He said
Jesus.
so up.
Yeah.
Indeed.
God said so afterwards.
I don't know if God gave an interview after that.
I would like to interview God. That would be cool.
I mean, some have suggested that maybe Messi or perhaps Maradona himself was such the person.
I would like to interview God about his carpenter beginnings, and well, I guess that's Jesus, but it's all the same in my religion.
Coming from Poland, it kind of is.
Yeah, the traditional religion of my countrymen.
I hear a lot of stories about the influence that the church has over Polish media. Is it exaggerated?
I mean, there are some. There's a radio station. There is a TV channel, but they're like for absolute, Orthodox viewers, and there is also like a big link between the governing party and religion, and the governing party is basically using the national TV for propaganda material. But I would say most media are not really that involved with religion. I would like to ask God about Maxim Cressy, says Ghosty. That's interesting.
The first question you have at the gate of St. Peter is not about how did the Earth begin, Big Bang, how did the dinosaurs become extinct, even who shot JFK. Tell me about Cressy's decision to go for the serve volley.
Yeah, how did Maxim Cressy become top 30 player from a crappy college guy? Because apparently he was losing to everyone in college.
I think we've added about 30 subscribers today, which for one day is a pretty big haul.
Well, he was 31st apparently, but more or less top 30.
Ghosty, I would imagine that Florian, because he's determined to beat me and will gain every single advantage he possibly can, has now gone to bed, perhaps with the aid of a sleeping pill. Although I say that, sleeping pills is something that Boris Becker blames for one of his Wimbledon final defeats. Probably, I'm going to say, against Edberg, maybe the last one against Edberg. He says that he was kind of asleep for the first 2 sets because he took a sleeping pill either the night before or even the day of the match because he wanted to sleep before it or something. It's something bizarre.
This is starting to look promising for Borna Goyo.
I'm guessing you were at 15:30 then on your screen. Yes, we are. 15:30. I mean, this bit mustn't get too carried away. I mean, I know what you mean just in terms of this set, but even this set is still
Still feels a long way away, even though it is technically just 2 points.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time Novak just fires 2 great serves here, and the whole dilemma is done. And well, just as I said that, Novak Djokovic finds the ace. Yeah.
Down the tee. 30 all. Still in this set, Goyo's got 7 aces to Novak's 4. Oh, I think Vitas was the drinker. Pretty sure. I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but I don't mind saying so now. I was a bit hungover yesterday when I played, on Saturday when I played Florian, and we had 1 set all. Maybe it took me a set to wake up. 40-30. At least that was close.
Yeah, Ghosty. The state of Polish TV is basically like in the US. There's one channel which says something, and there's this other channel which paints it completely differently, and you have like 2 views of the same situation, and neither is actually true.
If Novak does get this done in straights, and maybe Swiatek obliges as well, of course, that will be good for my tennis performance tomorrow. But equally, I would be more than happy with a Novak loss in 5 and an Ostapenko win in a 3rd set tiebreaker. What would be annoying is if Novak wins it in 5. That would be...
What if it's 8 a.m. then when we're finishing?
It is what it is. 3 hours sleep and tennis court it is, you know? You gotta find a way to win.
I would bet on Florian then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can be all right with little sleep. I mean, what I find with sleep is it does add up. Like if I did say 2 or 3 nights in a row with such little sleep, and then maybe especially if you had physical exercise as well. But a one-off 3 hours, you can get away with it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The problem as well is injury, of course. You might get injured with that kind of conditioning.
What if they go until noon then?
What, the tennis goes till noon?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be like every single set from now would have to be a tie break, and there would probably be some medical timeouts and all sorts of bizarre things. But because I think even Alcaraz Sinner was like 9 a.m.
Yeah, don't worry, John. If it goes until noon, I'm gonna just finish off the stream for you.
Sure.
Although by this time I would probably be long asleep in my creaky chair.
Yeah. Good defense here from Novak. Thought Goyo might come into the net then. Novak just doing Novak things. Love 30. Theo is his dog. I had to think for a second. Jake, I'm surprised you haven't fallen asleep, given A, that you were on the beer today, and B, just half an hour ago, you were saying just how much you were struggling to stay awake. I would a realistic target is to hit 3,000 subscribers before the end of the tournament. 177 to go. If we pick up 30 a day, we should just about do it.
Got one of her fans a ticket for today.
Oh, she did do that. The one that was, I think is that Jonah? She got Jonah a ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, great. She did get him a ticket then, because Jonah's a guy who's occasionally supplies videos for us, and he's also somebody I shared a tweet from a day or two ago. And Ghosty said, "Who is this Jonah guy?" Cool. Yeah, he's a big fan of hers. I think he's US based, and he's an American guy, I think, but he was also at the French Open this year. I think he was there for qualifying too. Yeah, he's a big Ostapenko
Oh
fan.
no, you know what? Now that I think of it, I actually in the past I was not saying Gojo, I was saying Gojo, I think.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, there were 1,000 ways to pronounce Borna Goyo, but right now we know. Apparently, he also has it on the ATP profile now.
What's that? What's that? Sorry. Oh, he's got the pronunciation on the ATP profile.
Yeah. When back in the day, maybe it was actually, I can't remember, but someone invited me somewhere to talk about qualifiers, and Borna Goyo was part of it, and that's when I was checking the pronunciation of his name for the first time. On that Croatian interview that thankfully at the very beginning they said his name.
This defense from Novak must be very annoying. Admittedly, though, Goyo did keep his cool there for 40-30. From love 30, this would be a big hold. I mean, when you were telling me about, the being big serve and everything else, I was thinking, well, get to a tie break, and I know what we think of with Novak and tie breaks, but generally we see these Novak tie breaks against a Tsitsipas or a Sinner or Rublev or Rude, for example. Against a big server, it could get to 5-all in a tie break.
Easily, You only really need 5 points
5
one
holes.
on serve.
Yeah.
Let's say. I mean, to win a tie break,
Oh,
you're gonna get one mini break and
yeah.
well, I guess 2 mini breaks in that case.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, you've seen something, and it's probably ugly from Borna.
Your prediction was more accurate than his play here. I mean, the volley was pretty tough. He just never really should have had to play it in the first place.
Yeah, because of the smash. Okay, so break point, is it? Have we got a break point here? 30 advantage Djokovic. Yeah, break point. Is he going to go big on this second serve like he has done so many times before? Not that big. And he's in the rally, but he's put a forehand into the net. Novak gets the break, 6-5. Novak will serve.
Can we just bring out Ostapenko onto the court now?
Yeah, possibly.
If Goya goes love to down, which, well, he will here, I think they should move the rest of this match to court 18 and bring on Świątek Ostapenko. I want to see Jerry Armstrong, coming out of the locker room and say, okay, guys, this match is clearly over. Let's just move the rest to the parking lot. Now, time for the real battle.
Yeah. Yeah. Novak is about to serve for this. Borna did change his t-shirt recently, but this one's also now sodden wet. Heavy breathing there from him as he prepares to try to break serve.
Okay, Novak serving. For the second set. And 1 foot in the quarterfinals, where Taylor Fritz awaits. It's a good first serve from Novak. Not a bad return, though, to be fair, from Goyo, but he's soon on the defense, and that lofted ball goes long. So Novak is 15 love up, 3 points away from sealing the first set. Djokovic is the first serve into the net, so it's going to be a second serve for Borna to look at here. It's quite aggressive in terms of his position there. Novak got a smash here. Borna just scratches his head and just lets that one go. 30 love. Yeah, this t-shirt is already sodden as well. Is there any tennis happening on any other court in terms of the singles right now?
Singles? No, of course not.
No. There's no who's on? There's no Louis Armstrong matches, or are they all done?
They're all done.
Okay. So just 2 quarterfinal spots remain, although you could argue just 1 on the men's and women's draw.
Yeah, even in doubles, there's just 1 more match going on. McDonald Mies against Ram Salisbury. And actually, McDonald and Mies are close to getting it to a third set. I'm not sure if all the juniors is done too, but I think so. Yeah, all the juniors is done as well. Yeah, so basically just that and 1 more doubles match at the moment.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, we're not far away. Spread the word. If you ever see any tweets that you feel like deserve a retweet, do so. Probably very few, but if there's one sort of me begging for subscribers. And I think Borna Goyo is going to be begging for something right now because he's 2 sets to love down to Novak Djokovic. And Djokovic, in this circumstance, when was the last time he lost a match from 2 sets to love up? I don't recall. Honestly.
Not Philipp Kohlschreiber, but Jürgen Melzer. I don't know if is that the only one?
Maybe.
I think it's possible, right?
He said he cried uncontrollably after that defeat to Meltzer.
Well, Jürgen Melzer is clearly the GOAT then. But
well, he's still got a 3-1 record against Novak. Novak beat him comfortably in Beijing a couple of years later.
Roddick has a good record against him as well. Vesely, of course. Yeah. How can you be the GOAT if you have a negative win-loss record against Vesely or Melzer?
Alcaraz, of course, looked like he was heading for a 3-1 lead over Novak, but Novak had other ideas in Cincinnati, and now it's 2-2.
Yeah, 1 defeat over the course of Djokovic's career when he was leading 2 sets to love up.
Just 1.
Yeah.
I mean, Rafa had one against Tsitsipas quite recently in Australia, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel as though there's a couple more.
Against Roger in Miami, 2005.
Yes, in the final, yeah.
The famous forehand that was not called out in the third set at like 1-4.
So Rafa had a forehand that landed, or Roger had a forehand that landed in, but it was actually out. Okay.
I mean, he had a forehand that was miles out, and it was not called.
Yeah, Rafa, you mean? Sorry, Roger.
Yeah. It was like 1-4 in the third, I think, and then he won the match.
This Zverev-Sinner match could have a big bearing on who wins the US Open.
Possibly.
It's just that I think, assuming Novak gets to the final, which is looking more and more likely with every day that passes.
Yeah, like if he beats Goyo, yeah, of course he's gonna get to the final. If he beats an opponent like this,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
So
super open.
So that's that. And then on the other side of the draw, there are 3 contenders possibly to make that final. Maybe 2. I think Zverev could beat Sinner. I just don't know if he could get all the way to the final after that. But the winner of this match will probably play Carlos Alcaraz, and the winner of this match will probably have the best chance of beating Carlos before the final. And so this could have a bearing. So let's just say the gods have laid it out that Sinner is going to finally beat Carlos. I say finally, he's beaten him a few times before, but Zverev won't. Let's just imagine that scenario. So therefore, Zverev wins this match, and we never get to see Sinner against Carlos. But of course, if Sinner wins it, in a way, that would the odds on Novak would come down if Sinner beats Carlos Alcaraz. So it would favor Novak, of course. So yeah, just we've got a heart now on Facebook, which may help equalize that anger from Robinson Lopez. So the heart comes from Mir Olivet Cantilla. So thank you for that. And anybody else watching on either of those platforms, please hit the like button. Korda is pretty graceful. Why is Korda playing doubles right now? I just wonder why Ghosty is randomly telling us this.
He is not.
Oh, it's not random. I see, because he's responding to Vesely's grace.
Yeah, maybe it's the Vesely Korda, upset at Wimbledon that Ghosty is referring to.
From this year.
Yeah. Vesely is definitely a graceful mover, yes. He's like a ballet dancer out there, Federer has nothing on Vesely. He's also up there in terms of fitness, along with Novak, Nadal.
Stricker.
With Stricker, he's actually on the same level. Yeah.
Kyrgios.
Kyrgios, I guess, is usually pretty fit when he actually
he's in
plays.
good shape, and he doesn't seem to suffer from fatigue too much.
Yeah. I don't think I've really seen him that tired in his career. Monfils is tired after every point. Murray too, but
Murray, yeah. Yeah, Murray's it's 3-3 in the first set, and Murray's just had a 30-shot rally, and you think, oh my goodness me, he's gonna have to. He's struggling here. Borna Goyo has taken a little break at the end of that set to reset as he prepares to be the first person in 13 years to come from 2-0 down to beat Novak Djokovic.
By the way, did you enjoy, how often we could hear Brad Gilbert giving advice to Coco Gauff today, and how often Coco Gauff totally disregarded that advice?
A, I'm aware of it, but B, I didn't know because I had the sound down while I was watching the match.
Yeah. I thought that you might know.
I could see stuff going on, but the reason I'm aware of it is because Owen actually highlighted it when I spoke to him afterwards. But yeah, it was also quite funny how he was like saying go with margin and stuff, and then she'd hit a really flat forehand, like a millimeter in.
Yeah, but honestly, his advice was awful. He basically kept. He said make it physical like a billion times, and then he basically suggested Goff to play longer rallies with Wozniacki.
Yeah, but does sound a bit unusual, yeah.
Yeah, and Coco told him to screw off like a few times.
Did she?
She said that she said like stop talking or something like that. Yeah.
That feels Tim Henman United Cup-esque as well.
And that was a few times as well. Yeah.
When it didn't get said, but there was a few glares at Tim when whoever he was talking to. But I remember, I think Harriet Dart, I think it was in particular, who was just clearly getting more and more annoyed with whatever Henman was saying or doing during the United Cup. Goyo is so close to that line. I don't even know what the line is called in tennis. The one that sort of splits and Goyo's held serve to love. That line, which is like the halfway line of where you're serving from. Do you know the line I mean? The little short line that just begins on the tennis court.
Yeah, sure.
Which I'm guessing well, in fact, no, I'm not guessing. I know you're not allowed to obviously go over that line in terms of the other half to serve. But he's very close to it on the first serve anyway. Which is interesting because when I remember watching Carlos in Barcelona this year, and he would do the opposite. So on the first serve, he would be quite far out wide, and for the second, so he'd get that angle, and then the second serve, he'd come in a bit. Novak is pretty close to that line, funny enough. Well, certainly on the first serve, and he loves to go down the tee on that. He's just done so with an ace, his 8th of the match. Yeah, Jane was enjoying as well the Coco responses to Brad Gilbert today.
Like, I have nothing against Brad Gilbert, but his tweeting style is certainly quite funny and unique.
People get quite annoyed about that, though. The nicknames he gives people. I don't know why they get annoyed by it.
It's just funny, to me. And personally, I don't really view him as like a huge authority, I guess, on Twitter. He is kind of old school, and in a way that maybe isn't really speaking to like modern, very young fans. But of course, no one can really deny his achievements in singles, and both in his playing career and also in his coaching career. Coco seems to have improved so much.
Owen said something like his time with Agassi was like, I think he said something like, I don't know, the stat, I forget what Owen's stat was, but it was like a very impressive stat for his time with Agassi and the amount of slams he won in that period.
Yeah. He was basically with Agassi in his best days, and obviously has done tremendous work with other players as well. Seems like Gojo has improved almost instantly since starting to work with him, which we don't really know like what the full impact and what the full percentages are in terms of how key he was to her improvement. But it was really funny today just to see how much he was talking and the camera the microphone picking it up, and then Gojo telling him to just stop. and yeah, some of the advice that he gave her today certainly seemed very weird. Just kept saying to make it physical, whatever happened, really.
And in fact, in her on-court interview, that she added to that contradiction by saying that she started to play more aggressively at the right time. So
I was waiting to see if the interviewer, I can't remember who it was it Mary Jo Fernandez?
Mary Jo Fernandez,
yeah. If she was gonna ask her about like Gilbert's advice, she didn't. But indeed, Coco just said that she knew she has to be aggressive.
But bearing in mind, a lot of these people will be colleagues of Brad Gilbert's. I don't think they will. Like Mary Jo Fernandez, I'm pretty sure works for ESPN as well as doing these on-court interviews as well.
Yeah, like she would have to phrase it very carefully. Yes.
Yeah, she would. Yeah. So it's best to just avoid it and just ask other questions. If there was something clear, like there was, if Coco was like thumbs up towards him, winks, and he was saying, do this with your serve, and then she did it, and it was such a clear, coordination between the two, then she could probably just say, yeah, tell us about some of the things that were going on with you in your box today. But that's a nice shot from Goyo. But that was just too high risk because she could really expose certain things. I do remember once there was a bit of fight back to Brad from Pam Shriver, I think, on Twitter, but I'm going back about 2 or 3 years, where I think that she basically openly criticized him for a lack of preparation, I think. Yeah, it was spicy. Something along the lines of something about that's why you do good prep or something. But I'm telling you now, it was a slight towards Brad and lack of preparation. So yeah, there we go. Regarding TV preparation,
Yeah, I don't remember that. but that would be kind of
It was a
spicy.
tweet, and it may even not even exist anymore. But I remember it clearly. It was very clear. It wasn't like, I wasn't reading between the lines.
Yeah, I wonder what the Brad Gilbert's nickname for Borna Goyo is. This is also BG, by the way. Similar to
Could be
him.
big.
I know
big
for
gangster.
Borna Choric, he has Borna identity.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a dad joke, but
I mean, they're all dad jokish, aren't they?
yeah,
They're all dad
that's true.
jokish. I don't think so, Ghosty. I think it's used a lot around the UK. In fact, it might even be a London thing. Jake, by the way, was supporting Wozniacki in that match, which kind of caught me by surprise. There's a couple of women's players that Jake likes that I'm not that keen on, because I'm not really a fan of Azarenka either.
What do you think about Kagla Buyukakche?
Who?
Yeah, that I was assuming that's the answer. That's also one of Jake's favorite players.
Okay.
She actually won a WTA Tour title in Istanbul. Maybe it was like 2016, but that was basically her only huge main tour result. She's still playing though. Like I think maybe around 250 in the rankings right now. I'd have to check, but yeah, that's more or less true. 275, and that Istanbul title was indeed 2016.
Yeah, Jake has penned that as well in the chat.
That was Turkish, I guess, Ghosty, although it was just the name.
Sort of a gambling question in your direction, or maybe our direction. Over 7.5 games, first set. Oh, so how many games will it go? So in other words, if it's 6-2, I'm guessing that's...
He wins, yeah. Matej wins if it's
Do you know
8
Matej,
games
by the
or
way?
more. No.
Okay. Matej, hello. I've never seen you before, but great that you're in the chat and seeking our advice, but please don't come back at us if the advice ends up being wide. But anyway, my point is this. For me, yeah, I think it'll probably be 8 games or more is the more likely outcome. I'm not saying it can't be a bagel or something like this, or a breadstick for Swiatek, but
yeah, I'd say the same, but I also don't want to be responsible for losing your $350.
We're talking big dollars here. We're not talking
We're talking big dollars, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like a high over 7.5. So
anyway, Matej, great to have you in the chat. You're welcome to share your thoughts as well. Maybe you agree or disagree with us, or maybe you want to chat to Jake about this. Who was this player in 2016 that you were just talking about?
Kagla Buyukakche.
Yeah, it's Carla. So I got Carla anyway. And I think Ghosty might be having similar issues with understanding who the other 2 words were in that name. I mean, Carla sounds to me like
Kagla. It's with
Carla.
a G.
It's with a G. Gala?
Kagla.
Oh, Kagla.
Cagla. Yeah.
Oh. Where's she from?
And then you have Turkey.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said it was Turkish. Although, I can't really say I was speaking Turkish. I just said her name and probably butchered it as well. But that's how I've been saying it my whole life. Well, my whole life, probably ever since she won that Istanbul title, which was probably when I found out about her.
This is good from Ghosty. I like this. Jake is suggesting it's pronounced Sharla.
Like Sharla, okay.
I must say, possibly the G would be a bit soft if it's Turkish, but I'm not an expert other than the fact I know some Turkish people and I regularly eat kebabs and falafels.
If that's how you're gonna judge, expertise on Turkey, I also am quite a bit of an expert myself.
Yeah, Ghosty as well is flexing his Turkish knowledge too.
Yeah,
suggesting it's Istanbul nowadays. Capital Ankara. I was actually chatting to some Turkish people at about 2 o'clock this morning over Turkish football and football in general. So yeah, I know my Besiktas from a Fenerbahce.
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray.
Başakşehir.
Yeah.
I guess that's all Istanbul clubs that I know.
That is. Yeah. You mentioned another one there, didn't you? Anyway, Goyo has a 2-1 lead. It is on serve, but he did have a few troubles holding serve in the previous game, so he saw that one out. I think there was another double fault in that previous game as well. There's been quite a few today, but he's just doing what he can, taking risks, second serve risks, and trying to paint lines, and occasionally not doing so. Jake here, Sam. I don't think he's ever quite come across a humour like Ghosties before. I mean, this was pretty good from Ghosty, this one here, when he's saying hi to Mateo, who was asking for some advice. And personally, I'd put every single penny down on Ostapenko. I sacrificed a chicken and consulted with the tea leaves this morning. It's a lock. Cool. Nice, easy question, I think, for me at least to answer. It's a real close one, Mateo, but I have gone pre-tournament for Carlos. There are a few more people in his way than in Novak's way of reaching the final. So that is... I think he was a slight loser from the draw, and Novak was a big winner. But I'm still going to stick with Carlos. There's nothing I have seen from Carlos thus far that suggests otherwise. Also, don't forget that Cincinnati final was quite close to being as comfortable win as you're going to see against Novak, likely. It was very close to being straight sets and a comfy straight sets for Carlos. I don't know if he switched off in that crucial game at 4-2. Or was it 4-3? 4-2, I think, in the second set in Cincinnati. But the point is this, that and the 5-set thing doesn't work with Carlos. It's like, you might say that with other players, 5 sets against Novak, blah, blah, blah. Well, Carlos's record in 5 sets, I think, is 9-1. I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, definitely the problem round for Alcaraz is Sinner Zverev. If he gets through that, and if he gets to the final, having spent a similar amount of court time on court as Novak, then I would say it's very similar between them, and maybe even a small edge to Alcaraz. But I wonder how much he's going to lose, how much energy is he going to lose, and also how much, whether he actually wins against Sinner or Zverev. That's the main issue.
The energy thing, I think, could have been an issue if he'd been pushed to, say, 4 or 5 sets on a regular basis in these first 3 rounds. But the fact he's got through them now and dropped a set.
But he could play Sinner for another 5 hours, and then let's say Medvedev for 4.
Sure.
And then it could get tricky, especially if Novak would just progress smoothly. This is also a big question, right? Whether Novak is going to defeat Fritz in 2.5 hours or 3.5 hours, and the same with Tiafoe or Shelton.
But I think even if Arnaldi somehow pushes him to 5 sets, I still don't think, and he goes on to get to the final, I still don't think he'll spend as much time on court as he did last year, because first round, of course, he had a retirement against German Kupfer. So that's already a big... Then he had a straight sets win over Harris and 4 sets. So, yes, of course, you don't want to have your 2 preceding matches to the final 5 sets, but at least over the course of the fortnight, the time on court won't be too bad. And I also think it's unlikely to go 5 against Medvedev. Djokovic is now pushing Goyo on his service at 15-30, so we could just about see the final decisive blow. Anyway, Mattia, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. See if we can push this subscription number up. Where are we at now? 2824, yeah. Might get to 2-8, 3-0 by the end of this stream even. Well, depending on what Novak has to do, actually. To be honest with you, I think maybe 2-8, 3-0 might be a bit optimistic. I'm sure we'll get there for the Eagle one. I've already seen that there's some people waiting. It says, YouTube says, you've got 3 people waiting for the Eagle stream.
Oh, so it's going to be a different one as well. Okay.
Yeah, different one, yeah.
So we're going to have a bit of a break, right, as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, the viewing figures for this has just been a solid 20 to 30 throughout. There's never been any sort of crazy high or crazy low. It's just hovered around that 25 figure. Goyo has a game point. Ghosty, how many likes are we at on YouTube? Let's see if we can get 30 likes for this video.
I hope, Ghosty, it was at least Alexander Shevchenko that you had winning the French Open and not Andre.
Andre.
That would make you.
Goyo held anyway from 15-30, so Djokovic wasn't quite able to land that decisive blow yet. I think as well, Novak, it's very unlikely to happen, but he is someone that maybe, you know, if he had a couple of 5-setters, then he might. I know he's fit as a fiddle and all that, but we have seen fatigue from him at various points in the last couple of years. I remember the Rafa quarterfinal in Paris, where I just think that at times in the third and fourth set, third and fourth set, where he did seem to be struggling a bit physically. Then it was kind of an under amount of tennis. He just hadn't played enough tennis in that French Open quarterfinal of 2022. But we saw him struggling a bit with the heat in Cincinnati. He's someone who clearly prefers playing at night anyway, in terms of his game. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play another daytime match until the final. Of course, the final is that kind of hybrid. Thanks, Ghosty. The final is that sort of hybrid afternoon-night match that we get in New York and also in Melbourne as well, where both matches, I think, start around about 4 o'clock local time. So they sort of end up starting in the afternoon and becoming a night match. And that can obviously change the scenario too. And of course, we saw in Cincinnati that it was as the shade came in and as the temperatures cooled a bit, things started to look up for Novak. Same with the French Open semi-final against Rafa in 2021 as well. Even if this was slightly bad news, Ghosty, I was hoping that we'd be over 20 by now. I'm still appreciative of the heads up. Ghosty's also occasionally my sound man, in that I remember quite a lot, more so like a year ago when I was just starting out, Ghosty would be like, can't hear you, buddy. You're on mute. Of course, he would deliver it in a slightly more friendly manner compared to our good friend Nurlan.
You are muted.
In caps as well. Yeah.
Muted in caps. 18 likes, John. So we probably have to wait for Borna Goyo to pull off the comeback, or at least
it's going to have. If I'm going to
get
30, it's going to have to go 4 sets. Yeah, I mean 5 might not be necessary, but 4 I think will be.
Well, he had his shot in the second set. You know, he was up 2 sets to gains to love. Then he made these 3 double faults, I think, in that third game.
Yeah, he was up 2 love and threatening to go 3 love. Yeah,
but now we're gonna see a cool point from him, and Novak even has to clap.
Yeah, Novak loves a good clap when he's up 2 sets to love.
Yeah, you could say he's already clapping Goyo in this match.
Yeah. Goyo looks like he's struggling a bit physically, actually, as well. I mean, I know he's just hit a lovely winner there, but afterwards he looked a bit stiff.
I think that's his usual movement.
It's just his usual stance, is it? Okay.
Maybe.
Good, we've gone up to 19, Jake. I'm sure we'll hit 20 then. 30-15 here. Second serve for Goyo to look at. Backhand return. It's nowhere near enough depth on that return, though. Oh, that's a nice one down the line. That's a lovely winner. Beyond the outstretched forehand of Djokovic. We're at 30 all. Way.
Back-to-back backhand winners down the line from Borna Goyo.
Yeah. Time to celebrate both that and the 20 likes mark. So we might yet get time for 30. If he breaks anyway. Even if he breaks, the set will be extended somehow. But he's not going to break. 40-30 Novak. Plenty of people watching us on Facebook as well. Make sure you hit the like button. Also get in the live chat and tell us whether you can anticipate this Goyo comeback. It's a good first serve from Novak, and it's enough to win the point and the game. 3 games all. I think it depends on what you are requiring, Ghosty, but I imagine the legal age for certain things is 16 and the other things 17 and other things 18, such as driving is 17. I mean, England and Wales is the same on most things. In fact, I think pretty much everything. 17 for driving. Oh, Damien, I think if you're okay with this, it's going to be you and Jack for the first serve tomorrow, which is
I read it.
Back to its usual time of 3 o'clock. Of course, usual being that we've only had like 4 episodes so far, but yeah, as traditional as 90 minutes in football.
No, I read it. I'm fine with this, Jack is okay, I guess.
I clipped that Jack, what have you been smoking or whatever regarding the amount of slams.
That was good. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about, mate? I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I stand by that opinion, and
yeah,
especially if Carlos Alcaraz wins this U.S. Open, I think then.
Yeah, I mean that just cements the
craziness for me. Jack is gonna eat his words very quickly. I think Wimbledon was already a big.
Me too.
Boost,
Me too.
right?
Wimbledon was I mean, I was saying it before he won Wimbledon, but I think the debate was there possibly to be had at that point. But I still think it was a struggle. I mean, listen. I mean, he might not, but I'm just putting. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the converted here, or as I think they say in North America, preaching to the choir. But I know where you're at on this, but just do the maths and age and what we're seeing with our eyes and blah blah blah, and how many people have won 10 slams or more. It's not super rare. It's not like only 3 play, because everyone goes the big 3. No one. Well, we're not even saying do what the big 3 was doing. We're saying half of what the big 3 do. Novak is broken. That return, by the way, must have just clipped the line. I actually thought it went out. So Novak now leads 4 games to 3. If I said before he had 1 foot in the quarterfinals, I think he's got almost both feet in there now. And Goyo is staring down the barrel, 4-3 down here, and Novak has that break advantage. He has got an orange lamp, I think, hasn't he, Ghosty? Or was that Jethro with the orange lamp? I can't remember. I think we had... Oh, no, it was Shrihari who looked orange today. We had Shrihari looking orange and Jethro looking blue. By the way, Jake, very impressed how you're still awake. That was a quick, decisive break as well. Didn't even drop a point there. 4 points in a row for Novak. a Welsh word suddenly appearing here in the chat. I see.
Yeah, it's the longest city name, right?
Did you actually copy paste that? Did you? I actually
Of
just
course.
I actually thought you just went.
No. I actually copy pasted that. I don't know it from memory. No. Oh, you thought I was just
No, I wasn't thinking you.
typing
I
in.
thought you were just randomly writing it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was not. I mean, when you see something like this, it's just clear they're doing it to get famous, right? They're doing it to get into Guinness World Record or whatever. Yeah, Borna Goyo is very likely going down in the next 15 minutes or so, which we're not going to be all that angry about, given the fact that we still have one more match to look forward to. But he did have some nice moments here, I suppose. There were a few outrageous winners, but that's what you get, I guess, with this hyper-aggressive mindset that he came out with today. And of course, he's like a serve/serve forehand bot, but he usually does not play that aggressively. But yeah, that's what you gotta do if you're playing the GOAT.
So, somebody with the name WSJ has just followed me on Twitter, but I'm assuming that's not the Wall Street Journal, especially as they've got a tennis avatar. That would be very unusual for the financial.
Also, that would be Wall Journal Street.
Oh, it's true. Yes, true. I've messed up there. It's 3:28 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I didn't have a pre-match nap. Although that can actually add to the disorientation. I don't know if Novak is feeling disorientated right now. He's at 15 all on his serve. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe as we head past 40 viewers at one time. Djokovic's serving stats for this set in particular looking pretty impressive, as he's 30-15 now, 2 points away from a 5-3 lead. Not a bad return there from Goyo. Pretty good forehand, but incredible defense from Novak. Although on that occasion, actually his defense goes long. But it was still pretty close to the line, 30 all. Yeah, but I'm still not sure how to say this one, Jake. I mean, I'll guess at Kaznevi. How's that, Jake? Give me a score out of 10 for my pronunciation.
If that's the correct pronunciation, then I don't know Welsh at all. I actually don't know Welsh at all, but it does not sound like it would be. But we'll see. Newport is easy, Cardiff is easy.
Cardiff, Swansea.
Yeah. Kaznoviv.
Novak just played
Kaznoviv.
One of the sort of, I mean, the perfect point doesn't necessarily exist, but he's just played just a nicely constructed point to give himself a 40-30 lead. This conversation about pronunciation and cities in Wales reminds me of a conversation I had randomly in a bar in Hamburg, and I'm going to say it about 5 a.m. With a Welsh couple that had arrived, I think, late that particular night, and they'd obviously decided to go straight out and have. There's going to be some bad language in here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I don't get any problems with YouTubers or so. But I'm going to try and play this for you. Here we go. So this is me having a random 30-second conversation with two Welsh people in deepest, darkest Hamburg in the middle of winter at about 5 a.m.
That's it, mate. Fuck Swansea. Okay, So this is recording right now.
Give us a real
for you. So you do it for me.
I met John for Novak. He's a top man. Fuck the fucking Swansea.
Yeah.
It goes on. I'm actually stopping it there with 11 seconds to go. Just because, could get in trouble for that. But it basically continues with another 11 seconds of about another 10 F words, I think. I do goad. Do you know that word to goad, Damien?
I don't know.
To goad is a good one. It's like to encourage, to GOAD. It's to I can't think of to encourage, but like I'm goading him to do it more and more. So I'm saying, what did you say about Swansea? Tell me more. And of course he's going for and I'm saying F Swansea, F, and you go on, say it again. And he just kept doing it for like pretty much 26 seconds. As I say, I stopped it with 11 seconds to go because of the number of F words that were squeezed into that period, which could be even a Guinness Book of Records in itself as well. Jake has just written my asterisk, and I assume he's not talking about Borna Goyo. He's talking about that.
Yeah, probably not about Borna Goyo.
30-15 on the Goyo serve. Oh, we've soared up to 50 now, though, in the viewers. A lot of people joining us on Facebook. I don't know if the algorithms are picking up such cool anecdotes that I was sharing about this Welsh couple.
Yeah, and unfortunately that happens when the match is over. Maybe next time you should play an anecdote at the beginning of the match.
I know, but actually that's what it's more about. Actually, I do find that the viewing does tend to peak the more dramatic, but also at the dramatic moments in the match that we do tend to go.
Did this match have any dramatic moments? I guess
No.
the ending of the second set, maybe.
Oh God, Borna. $30 so 2 points away from winning this match, Novak. Of course, given that this was the men's match and he didn't do it in super quick time, i.e. an hour and a half or less, there won't be a super lengthy break between this one and like if he did it like in an hour and 20 minutes, you probably have a good 20-minute gap between the two matches, but now they'll just obviously in quick succession. Novak goes long on the backhand. So he's going to be made to wait a little bit longer. How is this May H still going? I don't know if that's the match or you mean this watch-along or the fact that we haven't been kicked off YouTube because of all those F words that were just shared. How is this match still going? Well, Goyo's making a fist of it, let's say that. It was UK pub culture, you're right, Ghosty, but it was brought to Germany. Has Goyo held there? No, he hasn't. Djokovic is... I thought that might have gone out. Juice. Going to stick the tennis on, I think. Or Jake's sticking the... Did you not have the tennis on before? He was just listening to us, maybe. Maybe he was just thinking he will go to sleep as he listened to us, but now he's fully awake after that Swansea anecdote. Oh, look who it is, just in the nick of time, as Goyo lets that one go long, and we've got a game point for Goyo.
Well, Nurlan has to stay up for Świątek Ostapenko, right?
I'm lost. Is he a Świątek fan now?
Well, he said yesterday that she's his favorite player.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I also that's how we met Nurlan, right? Then he started being pretty pessimistic about her results and chances, but maybe that's just how he expresses his fandom.
Jake, I'm really sorry that you've been relying on our commentary to keep you up to date with all things tennis, and I'm sharing the Swansea pub anecdote. Nurlan, you missed the Swansea moment, and I just can't afford to repeat it again just because I don't know what might happen.
Yeah, hopefully Ostapenko Świątek is going to be more worth it, in terms of actually watching the match. That's what we are hoping for as well, as Novak Djokovic sets up his first match point. And well, I said Novak Djokovic sets up, but it was more Goyo with the wild forehead there.
Goyo set him up, yeah.
Goyo set him up. So listen, we have a match point for Novak Djokovic. What does that mean? It means the time with which you have to hit that like button could be pretty limited. So please hit the like button now, especially if your name is Nurlan. Hit that like button. Okay, I'm going to talk us through this point as I see it. Goes down the tee and is unreturnable. So he's saved that match point and we're back at deuce.
Yeah, that was not a long commentary point, but I already knew what happened on that one.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like waiting for the reaction when he said you were going to talk us through it.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if the Nurlan contribution is just simply hey, and that's it. I think that wouldn't be the craziest thing that Nurlan's done. That's for sure. If we just remain with this, as we get a game point, I think now for Goyo. Yes, we do. 2 hours 20 minutes on the clock. A random person here, but it's pretty clear that they're a Novak fan. Please hit the like button. Tuning in on Facebook there. Oh, he's actually hit the love button. Oh, I think it's a he. I don't really know. Anyway, thanks for that. Game point here for Goyo on his serve. It's going to be a second serve. Novak just behind the baseline, although he's pretty much on the baseline as he hits the backhand return. Oh, that's a lovely winner there on the rise from Goyo. So we're going into a game where Novak is going to have to serve it out. Hi, Gina. Hi, Gina as well. Great. Plenty of love here for Novak as well on Facebook. Please hit that like button, as we might not have much longer to go. 61 people tuning in right now.
Yeah, I was interested in how you were going to
I don't know why.
Get yourself out of that conundrum that you
I
basically forced yourself into. Yeah. What was the question that you wanted to ask?
Don't know. It might have been. Oh, I think it's about Anastasia. I don't know. I just assumed that she'd got home, but she might be inside the stadium. But I think she's been tending to get grounds passes. So does
I wonder if Jonah is watching Goyo Djokovic then. If he's gonna enter on Stepanko or not. Do grounds passes what?
No, I think I almost know the answer to this because I spoke to Anastasia about this earlier.
Yeah.
So Anastasia's not inside the same. Grounds passes do give you the chance or a shot at getting Louis Armstrong as well.
I think I read about something about this on Twitter. Yeah, I don't really fully understand how it works, but
I'm not. Anastasia kind of put it into words. I think it was yesterday when we were talking about this. And there's a queuing scenario where if it's Tiafoe, then good luck. But if it's not, then you've got a chance of getting an option, but maybe quite high up. But that's not too bad.
The Americans stealing from Wimbledon, basically.
Yeah, but because Louis Armstrong is the equivalent of number one court, so it's not too bad. I mean, you're getting some pretty good names.
Well, today it was Kirsta Bencic, Muchova Wang, and Stricker Fritz, Tiafoe Hijikata. Well, not the most exciting day of action, but that's just because of how the matches went.
Hi, Moy Salah from Morocco, whose name's very similar, of course, to Mo Salah from Egypt.
Yeah.
Djokovic serving for the match, 5-4. The first serve is in. Not a bad return, though, from Goyo. At least he's making Novak play, but he's not making Novak play much longer because he hits a backhand long. 5-4, 15 love for the soon-to-be-confirmed world number one. Jake here just flexing more Welsh knowledge, I think. This is probably another town in a certain part of Wales that I'm not familiar with. 15 love, Djokovic. Goes long on the first serve. So second serve here. Theo put his legs on the keyboard. That's funny. Forehand return. Oh, nice. Hit the line. And Novak's obviously in a comfortable enough position to smile at that juncture. Anyway, Nurlan, it was nice. It was nice hearing from you anyway. Yeah, look at that. Nicely clipped on the line there. 15 all. Here comes the comeback.
Yeah, in case anyone was interested in the doubles updates, Ramsosbury won after all against McDonald Mies. Yeah, so this is basically the penultimate match at the US Open today now, and of course, Świątek Ostapenko will be the last one. thankfully it will be the last one, because otherwise we would be getting to bed at like 8 a.m. and that would not be great for John's chances in his tennis match tomorrow.
30-15, Djokovic leads, so he's 2 points away. There's a smile there. I think it's just because of the nature of his toss was pretty off. 30-15. Where are you going with this one, Novak? You are going along with it, are you? No. It's a good return, though, from Goyo. Goyo goes big on the forehand, and I think I've said this before. It's gone out. 40-15. 2 match points for the 3-time US Open winner. There's a big rush on here. I don't know what's going on here. Everyone's trying to get down to the front, so they obviously get the autographs. Renee Stubbs there looks a bit surprised and shocked, but they're all rushing down, trying to get their tennis balls signed, no doubt, by Borna Goyo. I mean, he's the guy who's going to be walking past in the near future. It won't be Novak, because he'll be giving an on-court speech any second, I imagine. First serve goes into the net. First of 2 match points. Whether he need both of them, let's find out. Second serve here. That was a sort of complacent first serve. It wasn't like because it actually wasn't even a pelter. It wasn't even a big one that went into the net. Anyway, second serve here, Novak. That's a decent second serve from him. Forehand has gone wide, 40-30. I picked up Ash tickets last year very reasonably, but I was getting them last minute. I don't remember the exact prices, but they were, I think it was like I had the 2 quarterfinals of Rublev and Tiafoe and Pliskova against Sabalenka. So it was a day session. I think I got them for like $50 or $60. And then I got the women's final for about 100. Might have been a bit more, but it wasn't too bad. Jabeur Swiatek, of course. But that was a year ago. Could get a Jabeur Swiatek repeat. I don't think we will, but... Oh, it's an ace from Novak to close it out. Hits a ball up into the crowd. Novak Djokovic confirms his spot, the final spot in the men's quarterfinals. So the men's quarterfinals are done.
Well, not really. I mean, it's just the bottom half.
Oh, yeah, of course. What am I talking about? Okay, so the men's top half of the quarterfinals are done.
Bottom.
Oh, bottom, of course, yeah, because for some reason the bottom started on the Monday. Anyway, at least on the men's side they did. Because actually, yeah, because Iga's on the top half, isn't she? So, yeah, so it's top half women's,
Yes.
bottom half men's. I guess it's just the name. I mean, I know Carlos's name is getting bigger and bigger, but it's still Novak. I'm just going to stay live until Novak finishes his speech. Novak, of course, applauding his opponent off. I mean, it wasn't a shameful performance from Goyo. He did what he could. Possibly could have played better, hit a few more better forehands, held serve early on a bit better.
Yeah, just that one game he'll regret, I guess. 2-love in the second set.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes 3-love there, he could easily win that set.
Yeah, that was really the only moment when he had Novak, well, not on the ropes, but he had a serious chance at winning a set. Otherwise, no breakpoints generated, and just a super risky approach. But that's what he felt like he needed, and I guess we have to respect that decision, even though it felt like the past few matches Goyo was actually improving in terms of just being more consistent off the ground. Whereas today he was just slamming the forehands and like clubbing every single ball that was in his strike zone. Most of the time not making it. So.
But if he did a sort of Casper Ruud, Andre Rublev, Yannick Sinner style performance, that would have just been ridiculous. It just would have been, why aren't you doing something different?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to get Novak's on-court speech. Damien, if you want to go and have a break before the Iga match, while we watch, sometimes these Renee Stubbs, this is the third little interview I've seen between these two on court. And the first one in particular, I think Novak began it with a sort of stony face, because I'm pretty sure he's aware of some of Renee's utterances about Novak in the last couple of years. She's not always been glowing about him or Serbia. She's tried to I think, thaw those relations. And Novak probably doesn't give that much of a flying proverbial, but here we go.
It's just extraordinary the numbers you keep producing. You finished the other night very late. You got down 2 sets of love. You fought back. How important was it for you tonight to clean this up fairly quickly?
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate your support.
13th US Open quarterfinal, 3 of which, of course, ended up with the title before. Yeah.
Outdoor stadium, obviously, biggest tennis court in the world. And these night sessions are always very, very special. So I don't think.
Well, of course they are, Novak. You love playing at night.
Appreciate the support and your presence. Thank you so much. Well, I knew that Borna has a big game. I don't think we ever faced each other, to be honest, on the tour level. I was watching him playing qualifications also the last couple of rounds of the main draw. I saw that, he's a...
Do you think Novak's watching the qualifiers?
No, of course not.
He moves pretty well for a big guy. Obviously, one of the keys to the match was to neutralize...
Can you hear this, by the way?
Yeah.
Try to reduce the number of aces and winners from that shot. I think he had 14, which is quite a lot, but still, in the best of 5 sets, I try to manage, I guess, my energy and focus on accuracy with my serve. I think I've done well in important moments and just glad to get through in a straight set.
Now, I want to ask you, you're having a pretty easy night out here, relatively speaking. 3 sets, not too bad, but you seem to give your box a bit of a hard time. Do you want to tell us exactly what's going on there? Is that just frustration? Is that just communication with you guys?
They keep me sharp. I keep them sharp. Look, I demand the most focus from my team. They do the same for me. So obviously, in the heat of the moment, a lot of fun words come about. But yeah, coaching is allowed this year. I mean, to some extent. So obviously, when I'm on their side, I try to communicate with them, which is not always the most efficient way and easiest way. But,
22 likes.
It helps obviously when I lose the rhythm on the serve or whatever it is. I look at them and try to get some advice, some guidance, and I get it. I must say.
It's working. Last question, because we had another match out here tonight. You have to play now against an American, Taylor, Fritz, the Americans up that section of the draw.
And he'll get an American in the semi-final as well, won't he? Because it'll be Tiafoe or Shelton.
3 Americans in the men's draw in the quarterfinals. I think I saw that since 2005. That's amazing, obviously, for USTA, for the US Open as well. All of the guys, Fritz, Shelton, and Tiafoe, big serve, just a very aggressive play. Obviously, Taylor has been an established top 10 player for the last couple of years.
It would be Taylor's biggest win of his career. I mean, I know he beat a lame Rafa at Indian Wells, but...
Comparable, I guess, because that was the final.
Yeah, but I mean the biggest moment of his career, you may still say, is winning the Indian Wells title, sure. But I'm just saying the actual just putting the match, whether it was on a park or it was first round or ATP finals or whatever, but just the solid to beat Novak on a hard court as a match, whether it was first round or quarterfinals or final of a Grand Slam, just as an entity, I think would be the biggest single achievement. Although I think probably winning a Masters 1000 is probably, you're winning a title. Then you're winning a pretty big one, maybe the 5th biggest on the tour in Indian Wells. So I get that. Anyway, Novak has done what he had to do, which is win this tennis match. He's in the quarterfinals, where he'll play Taylor Fritz and Ben Shelton. and Francis Tiafoe will contest the other one. Damien and I are done for now, but we'll be back again in a few minutes to cover Iga Swiatek up against Jelena Ostapenko, also known as the Jelena Ostapenko show. We know, of course, Ghosty and I know that it's going to be a comfortable win for Ostapenko. So I'm going to just post that in the live chat right now. And we'll see you all again on the other side, I guess, maybe in a few moments or minutes or whatever. But yeah, come and join us. I'm going to post that in the chat right now. So I'll see you soon, Damien.
See you soon.
You can just leave the stream and I'll, because I'm just trying to find the link right now. Here it is. I've got it. So here we go, guys. Here comes the link. And Penko is coming, as Ghosty suggests. And we'll see you all very, very soon. And you know the drill, by the way. Don't forget to do all this stuff. So we get to 25 likes before the end of this video. Go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.